It sounds like pussy shit to me. What are you looking for?
That old real shit. I'm not kidding. This makes me sickening. That's why I stay flipping. That's why I stay flipping.
One, two, three. It's me, Mehdi. Thanks for tuning in. I see so far 2 people in the house, but it's open mic. Anybody can join. Open topics. Oh, it just jumped to 10 people. All right. So yeah, so far I have only Joe in the house, but Mercer is in the grocery store, so he joined later. Yeah, other people also said they might hop in later because it's 9 p.m. here in Gulag, Eastern Europe, so it's only afternoon for USA cells, by the way. What else? Message. So yeah, Joe, how are you coping, man? Well, I guess Joe is AFK.
No, I'm here.
All right. All right. So it's open mic. Invite link is in the quick chat. We used Uncle Ted in the thumbnail. I was thinking about John Rambo, you know. They both share similar story.
Yeah, the first one. The first Rambo, that was a good one.
Yeah, first Rambo was really good because he returned. I mean, he tried to find his friends from the army, but it started with such a harsh black pill. None of the friends have been left. And then he came across that asshole cop. Yeah? That was something. Yeah.
The normie cops effed him up.
Normie cop was piece of shit exercising some kind of, you know, ego, some kind of, you know. But yeah, the movie is from 1982. So how old is that, huh? 40 years, bro. Check it out. More. 43, right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I know there was an alternative ending where he actually got shot in the end, but they didn't take it.
Yeah.
And it was
Also,
actually better than the one they took.
Also, second part of Rambo is so depressing because he fell in love with that noodle and then she was shot, and it was terrible. Yeah.
I see you didn't like that. Yeah.
For real. Yeah. But yeah, I last in the past, basically, before C-Max, one of my copes to kill time was like watching Die Hard, especially like 1 or 3. I mean, Will Smith. I mean, you know, he was playing the cop John McClane. I mean, he played it so conveniently, you know. And the story makes perfect sense also, like the German terrorist, you know, with vengeance, you know.
Yeah. I was actually cheering for him. With base dude.
What do you mean?
The German guy.
The Hans Gruber.
I don't know his name anymore.
Die Hard 1 in the Nakatomi building.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know if it was the first one or the second.
The second one was on the airport in Washington, D.C. with airplanes.
Okay.
With that Generalissimo from South America.
That guy was also pretty cool.
Yeah, the villains in Die Hard, they are like the most, like, I don't know how to explain, but perfectly prepared, you know.
Yeah.
You don't want to face them, bro. Hey, Mauri's in the house. Thanks for tuning in. So yeah, snuggle the like button and check my Twitter account also. It's like a hidden background backup if we lose YouTube someday. It's pretty much a question of time. Yeah. Imagine thinking that you're not gonna be deleted by YouTube, bro. Imagine. Anyway, Mercer, yo. Hoy
Hey.
soy el hombre incelo.
What is that?
I have no idea. You said that 4 years
Prayer
ago.
for incels?
You said that, remember?
I did.
Man, your Canadian internet tonight is like some kind of tism, you know? Say again?
Yeah, my internet's always shit.
Oh, now it's good. Now it's good.
Yeah, it's always shit. Are you gonna be like? Are you gonna be doing streams all the time? Because that's really. I don't think that's a good idea.
We are live on YouTube right now, by the way.
He
Oh,
knows
yeah?
that. He
Oh,
knows
yeah.
that.
Hey guys. Yo, everybody in here needs to bully Medican into making content on geomaxing for black pillars. I've already gotten so many people tell me they want to see it. We got to make them do it.
Sounds good to me.
There's no one else. You're our only hope. I can't answer all these guys' questions. I don't even know myself.
Yeah, I agree, Mercer. I mean, eventually something will come out. Eventually, you know.
I don't know. It seems like kind of a. Do you have any actual theme for this, or what?
What do you mean, team? It's open mic. Whatever comes to your mind, anybody can join.
Well, he's not that wrong. I mean, it would be nice if we had a brief idea of what we are supposed to talk about.
Anything, bro. Remember yesterday, today, so many topics, you know.
Well, the problem is that you have to be careful what you talk about on YouTube, right? So the fun shit isn't you can't talk about it.
Yeah, all the good stuff that we are talking about on Discord, we cannot talk about it here. So,
You know, how about we talk about the most common smiley used in Europe?
What is
what
that?
is it?
I'll post it. I'm posting it in slab cells.
Hey, if you have some JPG, then show me.
Germany's being a skull just feels like it fits. It feels accurate.
Kind of does, yeah.
Okay, so you just
Poland's
sent
is,
me.
of course, Poland's flag.
You have just sent me this. What is this, huh? Check it out. It's on YouTube. So, most used emoji in each European gulag. So check it out.
Look at Ireland.
Wow, Serbia, Germany. Pure death. Wow, what's your favorite game, Mercer?
My favorite
Somebody
game?
asked in the Nero.
Yeah, you want to know my favorite game? Can you try and guess? Try and just guess the genre. Just knowing what you know about me, the basics, you could probably guess this really easily. Just because it's such an obvious thing.
I don't know, like Tetris or
No,
Oblivion.
it's the most incel gaming genres that you can imagine, right? What is the most subhuman gaming genres
Like
that has
Wo-
all
World of
playing it?
Warcraft.
That's
Crusader
close.
Kings.
That's a good guess. That's a good guess, but no.
Crusader Kings, maybe.
You got the genre right. It's these grand strategy games.
Oh, wait. I know. I just need
And,
to find.
I'm into the most perma version of the perma version strategy games, which is like Victoria 2 and like complex economic simulators, just because that's how spurgy I am.
Rude.
You know, I only play games that I know that no woman could even be remotely even like feigning interest in. Like, you know how some women can pretend to be like, oh, I kind of like playing the shooter game, you know, okay. The kind of games that I'm into are just so abstract and esoteric that women their eyes would start going in two different directions when they stare at the game for too long.
I
That's the
expected
kind
you
of
to
games I think
say.
every man should play.
I expected you to say Hearts of Iron 4.
No, maybe if my politics were slightly different, that would be accurate. You can usually predict a Hearts of Iron 4 player based on what their politics are and whether they have Sun and Rads in their profile pics.
Cannot even play that game. It's too much IQ for me. I cannot take
So
it.
check it out. There is some caller in the. Actually, that name sounds familiar. I can't remember because we went through like 3,000 people probably through like many years. Anyway. Hey Vastus, we are live on YouTube.
Hello. Hi, Mercer. Hi, Medican.
Hey, I think I remember you from somewhere, but I can't recall.
You do remember me, Solanopsis.
Hey, what's up? Yeah, I remember you. The name rings a bell.
Yeah, we've talked.
Yeah.
You stopped making videos for a while, and now you're back. It's great.
Yeah, I'm like CJ from San Andreas. I just flew back into town.
Brutal.
The topic, cope or rope? Saw someone say that.
Well, if we're still alive, we're clearly coping, right?
Yeah.
It's a perfect topic. We are coping so hard. All the copes that arise in the future that are only ready to be invented. Can you imagine?
VR.
Yeah, like sex bots.
Yeah, like.
Are you guys going
androids.
into VR if it's convincing?
Oh, that's a great question. VR. So, I would like to start experimenting with it. It's just, it is not prevalent, popular enough that is accessible and cheap enough for me to like start messing with it.
Are you gonna do
But
VTuber
here's the
streams? I
deal.
want to see Medican being an anime girl VTuber.
that would actually be
So
hilarious.
check it out. You like need shekels to start these fancy copes, but if I had shekels, I just escape to Asia. So I don't have to VR. You see? Anyway, go ahead. VR. Yeah.
Anybody know about Face? Face? I don't know. He just sort of disappeared. I think the issue was he said all that you could really say about the old school black pill. Like all of the look stuff and LMS, all the details have been debated to death. And if you're not really getting into more esoteric stuff, or you're trying to expand it into other areas, you just sort of run out of stuff to say. And I think he just got sick of it.
You got tired of
It's
repeating.
like, I can give example. You said esoteric stuff, yada yada. It's more about the range. It's like with actors in Hollywood. People ask about what's their range. Like how many emotions can they fake, yeah? So, in this case we have some kind of, I don't know what the fuck it is currently, some kind of talk show, right?
Yeah. Well,
It's like
yeah, that's true.
the topics are free, so there is no steering needed, you see?
Yeah, it's a shame too, because it was always kind of a limited topic anyways, because there's only so much you can say about, yeah, you're ugly. If you're ugly, women aren't going to like you. If you're short, women aren't going to like you. Money stuff is a cope. The personality stuff is a cope, including the red pill personality stuff, Like all that stuff is,
Oh,
once you see it and once you prove it, and once you get people on that debate you on it, and then you beat them in the debate, like that's what I remember a lot of the Face and LMS streams were about, like bringing people on to argue the ideas. Once you get all that done, like you can't really keep rehashing it, Like there's only so much content you can make. And I actually respect the fact that Face, instead of trying to just milk this thing to death, he was like, I think we've said everything that we need to say or that we can say on the topic. I'm just gonna quietly check out and do my own thing. So I can really respect that. I do wish he would pop back up, even just as a, just as like a quiet guest, you know, jumping in, and that would be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I'd even watch him do stuff like video game reviews or something, you know, like just something generic. I think he could do it. He's just such an
yeah.
odd character in that he's a black guy, but he has like, he sounds like a sophisticated English, like he has a proper accent that's not like hood Anglo accent, you know, and he sounds well spoken, and it comes off like an oxymoron, you know. It's not to say that he should sound like dumb or something, but you know what I mean.
I mean,
He's a funny guy
You could
also.
say, yeah, that's the thing. He can be rare combination of niche. Like you would almost say he have like a soothing voice and accent.
Yeah.
And on top of
Well, you know what
that,
his big
he
problem
can
was?
make some good, not sarcasm
Ironically,
per se, but
he
some
was
kind
too
of
high
parody.
IQ. That was his problem. He was too
Yeah.
smart. Like the thing with
Yeah.
black women is you can be ugly as a black guy, and like women of other races that are into black men. You can be ugly as a black guy if you're just like low and hib and dumb and like aggressive, like thug maxed. You can do that, but for guys like Face, because he's intelligent and he's well spoken and polite, I mean, it just doesn't work. It's like you're only allowed to be a certain type of personality if you're black. It's kind of rough for them. It's sort of like the opposite that Asians have to, like rice Asians have to deal with. Because for rice Asians, it's the opposite. Like if you see a rice Asian trying to act hood or act like thug maxed or whatever, it just seems silly. Like it seems contrived. It's sort of the same thing, you know, just in
Yeah.
reverse.
The people project the stereotypes, and if you don't fit them, then they're
Yeah.
somehow.
Yeah, it's like relative to whites. That's one thing you could say whites have an advantage on, is that we don't really suffer from stereotype expectation. We can be kind of like whites can run the range from like hoods or thuggish to nerdy, and it's okay. Like I've seen black women tolerate nerdy white guys as boyfriends that they would never tolerate with black guys. And it's really, and we're talking like even factoring in looks. Like it's a
high
really
value.
weird phenomenon, but it is a thing.
Well, they still expect a few things. They expect you to be clean, to be, you know, to have a job.
Oh yeah. I mean that, you know, that sort of thing. But like black guys that, like for example, Face is into tech. I believe I don't know exactly what he was doing, but he's either into IT or some kind of tech or software or whatever. And he's clearly intelligent, right? And
Yeah.
that sort of thing. If he was a white guy with the same stats, like look stats, even if you adjusted for the race pill, and you made him like uglier relative, like his current looks equivalent as a white guy, he could have probably gotten like some like nerdy black chick as a girlfriend, because they will tolerate white guys that are like subhuman nerds. They will
Yes.
tolerate them, even though they would not tolerate a black guy with the exact same stats. And I've seen it happen. It's really stupid.
He's also a tall guy, you know. I remember
Yeah, he's
how.
really tall. He was like 6'3" or something.
Yeah, something like that. I remember how red pillars avoided him like the plague, since they always tried to paint this picture of black pill people and be like they would never wash themselves or something like that, like. And Face, man, he was like he had this condition where he was often wearing gloves and stuff. He a very clean guy. He just can't stand it when his surroundings is dirty, you know.
Yeah, and the thing is, he wasn't lying about being ugly, because I remember he got selfie doxed once, And I did see his selfie, and he was pretty fucking ugly, right? Like, he was not lying about being ugly. But he was tall. And as I said, you can be, like, what's his name? Who's that rapper who's just ugly as fucking hell?
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z. I think Jay-Z's one of them, but there's another one who's also ugly as sin. And you can get away with it if you're not short. Like, if you can ogre max, and you can just thug max and be like a violent degenerate or whatever, like, you can get away with that.
Flavor Flav is the ugliest one I can think of. He's also small.
It might be, yeah, it might be that one. I just know that there's this one guy who, Lil Wayne, maybe.
He's ugly, yeah. He's really ugly.
Yeah, Lil Wayne, I think it is. Like, Lil Wayne, you can pull that off if you thug max and you're just like stupid and aggressive. But if you're intelligent and you're a black guy, you can't do it.
So check it out.
It's pretty brutal.
Probably nobody knows this channel called Joke Strap Sexy Time, and these guys, this is satire beyond over the top anyway, but they are reviewing snuggle dolls. And actually, well, I'm like observing this industry for good 20 years, bro. But and recently I'm surprised, like, Chinese are reinventing and involving some, I mean, inventing these features on the dolls. It's really impressive. Like, it's breathing, moving, already wiggling, all this, you know, high-tech, very specific, like, robotic, you know, technologies and new types of elastomers, and it's really convenient, bro. So yeah, I think that's the future. I mean, to be honest, I mean, like, look at the situation. Dating market is dead. Dating market is completely dead. It's a relic of past at this point. So I mean, yeah.
Yeah, but are you talking about the real dolls? I think is what they're called.
Maybe I should. Well,
I don't see a future for real dolls, bro. Not a big one. You know, it will. I think it will stay a niche, no matter how well they made them.
I remember seeing this chick who was on I was on a bus, and this woman was pushing around a stroller, and I thought it was a baby. I didn't bother looking directly, but then I just looked at as she walked out of the off the bus, and it was one of these like fake but realistic dolls. I'm thinking to myself, okay, I could kind of understand a woman wanting to like wanting to like play with dolls, I guess, is like a sort of childish thing that they
no, I'm talking about snuggle
maybe
dolls
do in
for
their own
men.
house.
You know, I think.
Yeah, like kind of like guys that would buy Funko Pops or some stupid crap like that. But I couldn't imagine these women going out in public like that. They just look crazy. They look insane.
Is it not some stupid thing for like school, like the baby?
No, this was a woman that was clearly in her 30s at least.
Whoa.
So,
Okay.
yeah, I'm pretty sure this was, yeah. No, it's, I don't know. There's some of these chicks are going crazy. I don't know. Like, what no dick does to avoid, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, they get like two dogs.
She could have some, man. She could have some. It's just, it's a different.
You know what? You're probably right. There's probably a dude that, as crazy as this chick is, there's probably a dude that is signed right up for that. And will tolerate it.
Always.
Yeah.
That is a good point.
Like,
I didn't.
Well, there is Maurice
I
said.
had a picture of that on
So
my old
check it
phone.
out.
I managed to take a creep shot
said,
of her just because.
It's a question for you. I mean, Maurice said, topic Canada Dry. What is that? Like dry what?
Canada Dry. That's a ginger ale.
What?
That's a ginger ale. Canada Dry ginger ale.
Like soda pop. It's ginger ale.
Yeah.
Oh man, you are talking to
It's
a
like made
Slav,
with ginger
man.
root?
I have no idea. What?
You don't know ginger ale?
You know what ginger beer is though? It's like similar.
Root beer? I mean, or...
No, ginger beer. They used to make Moscow Mule. No,
God,
never mind.
what
Maybe
are we gonna do with these backwards people? Jeez, this is like we're in the Roman Empire and these guys are on the
Oh man,
interwebs.
don't tell me. Only
They're
yesterday,
like barbarians.
yesterday I learned I am not white. By the way, can you believe that?
Yeah,
How are you not
that's
white?
really
After
funny.
35 years on the planet, and I learned this only yesterday, bro. I learned yesterday Slavs are not white. Like, how can I cope? Yeah.
Yeah, well, you cope by moving to America and then identifying as not white on employment records and stuff. You're like, listen, I'm brown. Let me in. I'm an honorary brown. Give me this high-paying job. Come on. But the cream soda, I remember the cream soda. I haven't actually had that in a long time. Now that I think about it.
I don't have that map from the video. I mean, do you have it?
I think
I
wasn't it
only-
in
I
VC
only copy pasta.
discussion?
Yeah. Can you look it up because
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
hardcore.
right here.
Oh, I'm looking at that clip you said, Uber Eats. Oh, I don't wash my hand, I was at the toilet, and I grab your food. Oh, no. You know, it's really, it is really catchy. Mercer, you were right.
What was I right about? I mean, I'm not surprised, but what was I right
Uber
about?
Eats song.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, it is catchy. Yeah, told you. Yeah.
So chat, let me know if the music is too loud. I can put it down. But my headset have this weird syndrome going on. Like, if there is no signal, or I mean, if there is dead air, they turn it off.
I don't hear any music.
Well, it is on the YouTube, I think. There's some question. Oh my god, I don't
White
see
man
that far.
regrets cutting off Black Queen on Twitter Spaces. Oh, what is that about? I gotta hear the context.
No idea. But Hostage gonna join probably tomorrow or on Saturday, and he can enlighten us on what's going on in USA. Hey, Basta, do you have anything to add? Though you can jump in anytime.
Thanks. Yeah, there's nothing new to say about anything Black Pill. People are hoping more and more where I live.
You are
Yeah,
from
guys won't
Baltics,
accept
no? If I assume from the name, maybe.
Oh, where I'm from? Oh, Canada. I'll
Ah,
leave it at that.
Oh god, we got more Leafs in here.
yeah, go ahead. Nothing new in the sphere.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you see it?
Sorry, what about the sphere?
Like, nothing new going on in the Black Pill, eh? Or in
Not
the
that I
world,
know of.
current issues.
Yeah, I mean we're I'm trying to sort of expand things a little bit just to try and
Yeah, you found some interesting things, like details to analyze in your. I saw some of your recent videos,
yeah.
like with the
It's
right-wing
like
ethnocentrist hoax and like bullshit like that.
So,
yeah.
just
And
for
I'm thinking
fun,
of like
here is that map,
constructing
by
a
the way.
political theory of inceldom. Or a theory of political inceldom. Or incelism. I can't tell if I'm being ironic or if I'm actually being serious with myself.
So yeah, this
It's-
kind of...
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Hey, this map kind of hit me to the core, yesterday.
I don't know,
It's-
man. Being
yeah.
white kind of sucks these days.
According to Tales,
It's
basically,
not really
yeah,
plus.
but Slavs are not white, It's over for Slav cells. Brutal.
So you have like zero Germanic admixture, I'm supposing. Like, yeah.
Probably from mother side something, but I never even acknowledged that publicly. Like, you know.
I like Varg like Furnace's map better because it makes me a mulatto.
Oh, Vargas map. Okay, yeah. Send me that too.
I already did. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, give me a second. So yeah, this is, I mean, people who know metal, black metal lore probably know what's up.
Oh, is there some development in the black metal sphere?
Oh, this is actually 90s lore. But yeah,
Oh,
according
okay.
how old can this opinion geographically be? Because the guy is behind the bars for like, I don't know, 30 years now. And like,
Oh, he's out now. Like I'm pretty sure he's like living off Gibbs in France or something.
Are you talking
yeah,
about Varg, like the
Oh yeah.
the
pagan guy? Yeah.
Burzum, yeah. Anyway, well, kudos to him that he don't think Slavs are free.
No, he managed to nail the French completely correctly though. And the Irish, I mean, that's pretty good. Especially, he managed to get the Northern Irish in there too. Most people forget that. They'll lump in the Northern Irish with the English and the Scottish, and that's not accurate. Like Northern Irish, we are absolutely inwards, you know.
I see 20.
Inwards. You mean like
Yeah, ninja. So basically, I see 20 people in the house. Let me know who is in the house. Chatki Britki. Tell us, how do you cope tonight?
I also like how he's identified the Cornish as Negroids, but he's not identified the Welsh as such. I think that's a really nice touch. Anyways,
But,
yeah, Varg is an
Mongoloid
interesting story
on the
because
on the
he got to
timeline.
enjoy
Yeah.
life in a Norwegian prison, which was sort of like an extended vacation. He even got to access to a computer. He was able to make music on his computer,
creating
and he
content
still
in
tried to
prison?
break out as well, multiple times.
Yo, Merce, would you talk to what was his name? Chris Williamson, if you had the chance?
Chris Williams,
Yeah,
who's that?
Chris Williamson. That's basically he used to be a male model. He's a chat and he's doing content on YouTube. You know, where he uses
Chris Williams.
Blackpool terminology and just actually he becomes more Blackpooled by the day, but at the same time he's trying to paint us as the bad guys.
Is
So
he
I would like
is he sort of ambiguous looking?
I could show you a picture, or maybe,
Yeah, sure.
or even better, maybe his channel, Chris Williamson was his name, I think. Because I would like to see you debate him, because this guy, he would just get wrecked by you, bro. And I would like to see it.
I'm curious where we disagree. Oh, Chris Williamson. Oh, that's why. Okay, Chris Williamson.
Oh, if I only throw in his name in the YouTube search, it already says Chris Williamson and then insults.
Okay, Chris Williamson. Okay, let's see here. Is he like one of these? Is he like that date psych guy on X?
No, not at all.
Okay.
He's quite a nice guy. No, his good takes.
Oh
and
man,
stuff.
listen, I would love to debate this guy, even if I fucking lost the debate, because with over 3.5 million subscribers, I would instantly become like 100K, just from the overlap. That would be amazing.
Yeah,
I'd totally go.
I know. Well, maybe we can only try. You know, it would be nice. and
Yeah,
I
I
think
mean, the
he's
thing
a
is, these
relatively
guys,
nice guy.
they're not, there's nothing really special about them in terms of their, like, they're not really that smart. Like, Joe Rogan's pretty dumb, to be quite honest.
Well, my
But he just happens to be big, and when you become a large figure, like a popular figure, that sort of becomes a that almost has its own inertia, you know?
well, my
The
goal is
very
not even.
fact that you're big keeps you big.
I know, but my goal is not even that. My goal is not necessarily to, I don't know, to have you expanding your channel. It's not. It's not even to see Chris getting smoked by you in a discussion. It's just.
It'd be entertaining, maybe. I don't know. I
No,
could try and make it funny.
no. It's not even that. It's just. It's that you're making very good points in your on your channel. You know, very good points.
Oh,
Although
appreciate
you
that.
only have a few clips, you already showed more important things than other people who are just spamming, you know. But you're only reaching people who already know. See, and if you would debate this guy, this male model here, you know, who thinks he he just knows better, that you just have to work harder, you know. And I'm not saying that he didn't work hard. It's just that he had more potential than us, you know, and he worked hard and it paid off for him. But for others, it doesn't pay off, not even in the slightest as much as for him. And he doesn't get that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
and
that's
his
true.
fans don't get that. But so if you would debate him, then you would actually reach the people you should be reaching, and not just black pillars who already understood the basic things.
Yeah, you see, that's the thing, is we are kind of stuck in
Bubbles.
our own ghetto, partly because it's something. There was this guy, I forget the name of his YouTube account, but he was this American guy, like black American guy. I remember he used to do TFLer stuff. And one of the things that he talked about was sexual false consciousness.
Yeah, I
And
remember you.
um,
You mentioned that last time.
yeah, I just wish I could remember his name. Like, I don't know. I'm dropping hints as to his background because I'm thinking maybe somebody will remember. He wasn't that big, but he talked about sexual false consciousness as a like these guys have a much harder time admitting their circumstances, and as a result, they refuse to identify with the correct groups or the correct categories because they just don't like the status associated with that category. You know,
Yeah, I know.
it's much nicer to call yourself an internet Nazi than an internet incel. You know,
Yeah,
even though the two are basically broadly overlapping at this point.
yeah.
Brutal. It is overlapping. And you are right,
Yeah.
it looks much admirable to avoid to call yourself the N word and the
But
E
not for
word.
long.
Yeah. Or at least, like, I don't even think it's so much about women. It's more so about how they appear to other men. The problem is men, and it's ironic because this is like a self-reinforcing thing. Because it's not only the Inkwell stuff, but it's also any ideology that women view as low status is going to drive them away because women are primarily concerned with status. And when your ideology is nothing but dudes and it's a sausage fest, it keeps away guys that are interested in appealing to women, like whether it's because they want to attract a woman or what. And you end up just with really weird personalities that concentrate into these circles. One of the nice things about the Inkwells is that unlike the more ideologically driven groups where they're all focused on believing the same set of beliefs and also like identifying with the same group, let's say like for example internet Nazis, Inkwells are much more diverse, and as a result there's more diversity in personalities as well. Whereas I've found if you go into like internet Nazi circles, they tend to you see the same kind of personality types repeating over and over again. and like everybody knows who they're going to be dealing with when they bump into a bunch of internet Nazis, you know. And that sort of ghettoizes them to a much greater extent. Like the only one that's really been able to get out of that is Nick Fuentes, and that's because he's very if he was born in a different time, he would have been like a Latin American dictator. He would have been like a Juan Perón because he has that personality type where he'd make deals with anyone because that's the way he is. But he's unusual in that regard. Like most of them are the super ideological.
Yeah.
You know.
It's just sad. It's just sad, man. So many men, they're just going for that Nat cope, and they think one day they will take back society and everything will be fine again, and they will be accepted and respected again. But they won't. No matter who they vote for, no matter what they do.
I like
Because-
the idea. Sorry.
Yeah, everybody does. It's appealing.
I like the idea of Mercer debating Chad Williamson.
That would be fun. I mean, I would probably lose just because he would look smog me, and that's all that would matter. But I mean, it would still be interesting.
And then he has more fans than you, and then they will all call you names and stupid and whatever. Yeah. But that's general.
I think you would. I think they would get along pretty well. I think actually, but it will probably never come to that discussion. You know, sadly.
And that's the thing that because
Hey,
you also
welcome to
said,
live stream. We are live on YouTube.
hey, you also said that like of course like this is useless. It's when even it's like he's a Chad, like he has a total different perspective. He never actually experienced what he's talking about, you know. He's talking about this to get viewerships and all of this. It's like it's always the same example. Everyone should be reminded of this. It's totally useless to ask Bill Gates for advice how to become a billionaire. Yeah, she's gonna tell you where I had it. There's no problem. You're just gonna work hard, bro. Right? Yeah, but unluckily I don't have his rich parents. Yeah, who were millionaires, billionaires before him. Yeah, you're gonna ask Brad Pitt. Yeah, how do I become a famous actor like you? Yeah, it was super easy, bro. I just did my thing, yeah, and I just learned how to act at the art school or whatever, yeah. Yeah, try it for yourself, yeah, as a sub 5, yeah. All
It's
of
like-
these things, yeah.
Yeah.
Never ask for advice for anyone, and yeah, just don't talk about good looking. Don't talk about with good looking guys about dating or stuff like that. It's just. Or not good looking, let's call them attractive because there's also height, right? Facial looks are not everything.
There's also
So-
status, right?
Yeah, also never. It's totally useless. They would just tell you like, well, it's super easy and you should be positive, and then the success will come. So I have to assume, but it's not even an assumption. I think it should be clear that guys like Chad Williamson who were models before, it's also clear why he has that many subscribers. Yeah.
Well, I think people like Chris have the problem. See, I think he worked very hard for where he is now, and it's like this. If he would now have to admit that he always had this bonus for everything that he invested in, you see, like if you invest $100 and you get something more out, he would get out more than you every single time, and that would snowball into the success that he has now. But he doesn't understand it because he was born with that bonus. He never experienced not living with it.
You know what's funny about that? This actually in the Bible. If you ever heard of the parable of the 3 talents, where the one guy gets 3 talents and he invests them and he makes like 9 talents or something. And the other guy gets 2 talents, he invests them and makes 4 talents, and then the last guy only gets 1 talent and he buries the talent because he's afraid of losing it, and then God like strikes him dead or something. Like it's a really weird parable. It's saying basically the rich get richer, and if you're poor and you try and protect what you could potentially lose, what little you have left, the Lord is going to take it all away from you. It's a really weird parable.
I don't know about that one, but I remember the other one. Like it goes something like the ones who have shall be given, and the ones who don't have
He
shall
who
be
has
taken
not,
away,
more will be taken still.
even the little
Yeah.
they have. Yeah, that was brutal.
Yeah, it's a weird one because it usually, well, the thing is, what you realize if you read the Bible is Christianity in a lot of ways is just reinterpreting and like coping about Old Testament scriptures and like coming up with morally acceptable interpretations of them. Where if you just read them at face value, it's like some of them are good and some of them are just awful. You know, it's quite funny actually. And like, of course, the Old Testament followers, let's put it that way, just to be YouTube friendly. They don't do any of that interpretation. They just read it the way it's written, and what a surprise that they act out the way that their original religion taught them to act, and it's resulted in how they are.
But I can hear some kind of. Are you in a pub or like?
What's that? Sorry.
There's some kind of music.
Oh yeah, I had something playing in the background. I didn't realize it was loud enough to hear.
So Matthew principle. I am not familiar with this anything that you just said, by the way. You know?
Matthew principle is where people that already have good stuff and good prospects or like innate abilities will get more rewarded by the world for it, and people that already have little are not going to get much at all. Like it's basically like the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's the Matthew principle, and there's also the Peter principle, which is basically says you're gonna be promoted up until a certain rank, yeah, or level in your corpo hierarchy or whatever hierarchies, or in the military, police force, whatever. They move you up as long as good as they can until you reach a position where you cannot do bad things more than you should do. Yeah. So basically, it's like idiots will be promoted, to a certain position, but not high enough. Yeah. So that they are still manageable. Yeah. They don't have to be actually a good worker, because we know promotion also takes like guys or people promoting you also will look how tall you are and how attractive you are and how much people like you and all of this. It's totally obvious, but there is still this Peter principle, which says that like even total like guys who cannot do their work in efficiently will be promoted to a certain rank. Yeah. Only as high, they will be only promoted to such a rank until not higher than that, just to keep them like because if they would get higher, they could do a lot of harm. Yeah.
You guys, I'll be back in about 25 minutes or 30 minutes. So I'll talk to you guys in a while.
Of course.
No, I've heard about that. It's like like the manager, like if your manager was so like competent and like a good worker, he'd get promoted again. But hasn't been promoted ever since he got the promotion. So it's like probably if he was better, he'd get promoted, but it's not the case. So he's like quote like it's like a term in video games. He's hard stuck in his position.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, there's nepotism, which is probably 50 or 60% of the deal, I would say. Nepotism is it's probably number one, I think.
There's nothing wrong with like nepotism either. It's just when you're not benefiting from nepotism, it's like bad.
I agree.
Yeah, like my family, it's like they would offer to like pay for my education, like before and after, before in the past and in the future, they would offer to pay for it, but they won't lift a finger to help me get a job or like ask for connections or talk to people they know, which is strange. It's like, don't you like, that's part of the whole thing too nowadays. It's not just off merit alone. You need like some sort of, so to have like, I knew so many people that got internships and opportunities because their families helped them out in that regard.
Oh yeah.
So
Of course.
it's weird. Like some like they'll do all of part A, but then they'll like say you're on your own for part B. You know, it's like no, it doesn't really work like that anymore. It's not the past where maybe back then all you needed was your education and you'd get hired, but not anymore. It's like they don't give a shit about your they know you, like they know you have your education, but you need the other stuff is very important.
Yeah.
I don't
I
even
mean,
know like how people don't see past that. If everyone's prioritizing education, if it becomes like oversaturated quite literally, then they don't see that like, oh, it's just become more competitive. It's just basically evened out. Like you don't have a competitive edge getting educated at all. It's like ridiculous.
Back 10 years ago when everyone was telling like people, especially young men, to major in like computer science and to learn to code, it's like that was a time to already know how to code. Now there's so many people, like it's so saturated with people like coding because they thought it was if they were sold that it was like the easy way to get a high paying job, and now it's like, you know, it's so hard to get a tech job, and there's like so much. I mean, not that, you know, tech jobs are like, you know, the end all be all, but it's like people were sold a lie.
it's probably still, it was and probably still is a good job for sub fives. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, you have usually no contact to customers. Yeah. Contrary to engineers or construction engineering and all of this, they have more contact to other people's. As a coder, you may just like work remote and sit in your home all day.
Check
and
it out.
It's gonna bother.
You know what's really scary? Someday, our generation, everybody here and all the listeners, most likely, we will become senior, pretty old, whatever. But at the same time, there will be young generation, the ones before Alpha. What it is? Not Zoomers, the other way around. The one that will came after Alpha, that generation, gonna end up hating us the same way we are now shitting and hating, boomers, basically. What do you think?
That's true.
It's like, oh, millennials and Gen Z, they don't know how good they had it. And it's like...
So basically, Gen Z is spawning right now some kind of creatures that gonna end up gaslighting us when we get old.
Yeah.
Gonna be at fault at something. We're gonna be faulted. They're gonna guilt trip us to oblivion bowl. Like, you know.
But there's a difference, you know. The difference is, for example, with boomers, they are shitting on their own children, you know. They're always beating down them, saying how they are less, how they just don't got it, you know. They don't got the grit, they don't got the strength, you know, to build something up. But it's their own children, you know. They failed as parents. But we don't have children, so it's kind of hard to blame us for it, you know. It's Becky's and Stacy's children.
If you take like a boomer's advice and go canvassing like business fronts for a job, like someone will call the police, literally.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Just ask her. Just like a boomer, probably. You know, it was probably socially acceptable to run like day game, like back in the 70s and 60s.
Absolutely,
Absolutely.
absolutely, it was. Yeah,
you get good results too. Probably. That's why boomers think, oh, just talk to women. It's like,
Yeah.
no way, man. You can't do that nowadays. You're gonna get like security called on you.
Yeah, middle
it's,
class to upper middle class boomers, they live in their bubble. So
Yeah, it's very common that very old men are giving youngsters advice like, "Oh man, go chat her up, go chat her up," and stuff like that.
No.
And then you,
Yeah,
and then you feel pressured because you know the result. You're gonna humiliate yourself for life, bro.
It's still good that they are doing so. In some sense, it's a healthy pressure in some sense. Or at least it used to be.
Yeah, you're in wrong environment and wrong time. Yeah, I would say.
Yeah, that's. I think the older generations, they had this benefit. They actually had a social circle. Yeah, and this is where most likely your parents met. Yeah, and then probably the second best place to meet a partner was probably the work. Yeah, and nowadays I wouldn't advise to ask a girl out who works with you, even yeah. If you are a sub 5, I wouldn't
He has to be the
strongly.
one who shows like so much overt interest in you that it's like
Yeah,
she
but
has
then
to be the one doing everything. You can't really like show anything.
true. Yeah, but still, if the relationship ends, you're gonna be blamed and everyone will be on her side. So, no,
That's true.
nowadays, I think this was a little different back in the days.
HR will restructure your shit.
Yes. So, but generally, think about the social circles, right? Nowadays, it's like either you are above a 5. Yeah, you cannot be a sub 5 because social circle game will not work for you if you are a sub 5. Yeah. So.
You're like a soy. I don't know. Like there's some vibes, but they're like the normie type, like very normie. Like they're very like they're carefree. They're not like jaded and bitter like us. And it's like those guys, like at least they have a social circle. I'm not like who knows if
I
they're actually
know.
getting paid, but
Yeah, but the girls they get are just they are not attractive at
So
all. I
there is
think.
a question from Apple: do women cheat on chat?
Why
With
not?
another chat.
With another
the answer is
with
yes.
Giga Chat. And on Giga Chat they cheat on with Tetra Chat, and then Tetra Chat cheated by Ultra Chat. Why shouldn't women cheat on chat? I mean, a relationship after a certain time always becomes another form it was before, even with chat or even with Stacy. Yeah.
over.
So anybody can join, and all you have to do is join waiting lobby, and I will bring you in.
So that's what I'm thinking. That's because we don't have a social circle anymore, and this is also my observation in Thailand, which I talk about this a lot. In Thailand, I see looks match couples a lot.
Yes.
They are not even looks matched; they are also height matched. Imagine. And let's talk a specific group. Let's take a specific group. The Thai couples, two locals, between 15 and 25. Yeah. They are most of them. The guy on average is probably 2 or 3 centimeters taller than the Foyt. Yeah. On the looks level, body and face, they are pretty similar. Let's say both are a 5 out of 5. And there's even some couples where the guy has the same height or is a little smaller. Yeah. But on average, I would say these couples, the Thai guy is on like 2, 3, 4 centimeters taller, and you see a lot of them. Yeah. Now compare this situation to the West or any Western country you are in. Yeah. You're gonna see much less couples. Yeah. And it's mostly a tall guy with a small girl, and the small girl often is also like unattractive, like what I know, like facially unattractive or chubby or fat or whatever. So that's basically most of the couples you see in the West, and this all just tells you that well, the dating market is done. There is no dating market. It's totally in favor of
Yeah,
women,
but
and
it's funny that you
also
just say that
and
because
I would say that the
hold on.
numbers because also comes from the non-available social circles. So firstly, people don't have a social circle. That's problem number one because we have much fewer couples here in any Western country. And number two is probably because, well, women foids nowadays are OP, yeah, in the dating game. That's what they are.
It is really just like it's the woman's choice at the end of the day. You can't. It doesn't matter what you are. It doesn't matter what you say. It's her choice. You know, she can end. She can end. She can start the relationship. She can she can approach you. She can start things if she wants. She can also end things at a moment's notice. So you have no power as a man.
Yeah, sure, but you know, we don't have. It's like we don't have the number of couples anymore, and we don't have the couples how it should be. Yeah, like they should be looks match and height matched, probably even probably the guy being a little taller or a half of a head taller. Yeah, this would be pretty normal, and this would also be then the solution for having a lot more couples. Yeah, and somehow these couples exist in Asia, in the third world countries, probably. You know what I mean? So, and many of them, yeah. So there's something definitely wrong in the Western dating, and I generally in Western social life, something's wrong. Yeah.
They like that just it proves that their society is healthier. You know, the men and women actually like each other. I don't think Thai
Yes.
women like Thai men. They like their men. Same with a lot of cultures. Like, you know, I'm not sure if you guys are like like if you do well with like women outside your ethnicity, but like I've seen like certain ethnicities. Maybe it's just a U.S. thing that they stick like they really like stick to their own men. Like I think
Yes.
like Hispanics in America, it's like for every
Yes.
like one like Hispanic girl dating a white guy, I see like nine Hispanic couples, and it's not even like a looks match. It's like the guy's like fat or he's like really short, and he's like not that good looking, but they're together. And it's like I don't know, it's just certain ethnicities. Like same thing with like Filipinas. I find Indians, I feel like they stick to their own like blue. At least in the U.S. they do.
Well, everyone does more or less, right? It's
Yeah.
geomaxing. You are also a niche maxer because I had this topic with Mehdi before. Is like most Thai women don't like Farangs. They don't like foreigners. Simple as that. Yeah.
Do you think like let's say like you meet a German? Do you think this is true? Like let's say like you're like a French guy, right? But you're in let's say the Philippines, right? And you meet a French woman also in the Philippines. Do you think you're more likely to be friends with that person than is as if you would meet in your home country? Does that make sense?
No, no. I tried to befriend Western foids in Thailand. It never worked. Yeah. Even when I even when I didn't have interest of like coupling up with them. Yeah, even if I just straight from the start was giving friendship vibes to her and like casually asked to meet like with in a group or whatever, or you know, was not giving any hints that I like her. Yeah, it never worked basically. Yeah. No, they don't change. They don't change. Actually, I think it's a sad life to be a Western foid in Asia or anywhere else because either you turn down your
because
expectations
at the end
drastically.
of the day, everyone sees you as a circus freak.
Yeah.
And
No,
hold
no.
on,
Yeah.
Western foid in Asia is being seen as a circus freak, and it's unlikely she will get privileges, certain privileges that white dude can get, by the way. Because
Really?
such a foid shine too much unwanted attention. People ask questions, yada yada yada. In the meantime, white dude in Asia, you can actually start building a hut in certain areas if you befriend people who have influence. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah. Actually, most white women I met in Bangkok they are actually all of them are single, yeah, or most of them are single, unless of course they have a Western boyfriend,
It's absolute
which they
bullshit.
or
I either
yeah.
see two white voids in Asia having, you know, fun together, or
Yeah,
of
yeah.
course it's some kind of white boyfriend back home from USA,
Yeah,
Europe.
exactly. So these white voids, they either take their high tier normie, their Chad Light boyfriend with them, yeah,
Yeah.
and live in this case Thailand, but of course there's many other countries, right? And
They can mog back home, but they come to Asia.
yeah,
It makes no
it's
sense.
like in Asia, if they would consider the local man, like I'm not kidding, like because of the height and everything, and also the status and the expectations they have, and of course they want cut corners. We all know how fights are, you know. They want cut corners, so they really need to go. Imagine for a tall Thai guy, yeah, or for a tall Asian with money and with education, so he's able to speak good English, yeah, and they won't tolerate a tall, educated, rich guy who doesn't speak English, or they wouldn't tolerate a tall guy who speaks English but does not have enough money. So they wouldn't just take these guys. And from the other perspective, these local men, in this case Thai, yeah, who are tall, who have money, they just really go with the beautiful Thai woman, you know. So why should they go with the lesser Western woman?
From time to time I met some kind of Thai boyos that for some reason they have some kind of white fever, and what they do is they go to Pattaya and they pay Russian hookers for short time. That's it. And I made mistake ridiculing few of them, and the Thai boyo told me, Medican, you have to understand, you are different, I am different. He literally tried to imply that the opposite phenotypes are seeing each other very noveltic, and I agreed with him. This is why I have yellow fever. But his white fever is such, nobody gonna tell him like whiteoids are sarcastic and unpleasant somehow. Yeah, go ahead.
Maddie, would you say that guy is even physically or status wise able to attract a average white girl?
I said it's a Thai boyo, and you know how these white girls don't like anything else than
yeah, but would he?
Jack.
No, it's not necessarily true. Like if he would be tall enough, and if he would
it
have
was like similar style like me, like a pothead onelet and shit, you know.
And you see, then it's only way to get white women in Thailand is to pay for it. Yeah, exactly.
So I guess I heard that the Russians are in Thailand, and I guess you said they run like prostitution rings.
Yeah,
where
down,
they, like,
down in Phuket. It's so bad. Yeah, go ahead.
They pimp out their own women, right? Or I think so, right?
Yeah.
Dang. Shit. I didn't know that.
The hot spots like Phuket and Pattaya and Sukhumvit, you will see Brazilian hookers there, Ethiopian hookers, Russian.
Yes.
Sao Paulo. I mean, everything international mix beyond imagination. Yeah. And here's the deal, by the way. Russians in Thailand, or Slavs in Thailand generally, before the communism fell, it was unlikely to have them in such volumes in Thailand. Slavs only recently, too many Russians. From what I hear, it's like 1 million Russians currently in Thailand. Thailand have 70 million people. So that's a lot of Russians. Yeah. Have you heard that story? 2 months ago, there was some British dude who entered 25 years ago, he entered, and he overstayed for 25 years. And only recently they captured him in Chiang Mai. But man, this guy is my hero. He has stories to tell, bro. I don't know who he is. There are articles about this. But this
He's
is
not
the
on
most...
social media.
No, there's some old dude from Britain.
Oh yeah.
He actually
Fun.
he get old. He went old in those overstay 25 years. And like I'm like, wow, this guy's my hero. Like, what a guy, what a story. I mean, he cheated death, literally, escaping UK. All those winters in UK, and he had the privilege to escape it. You see, I mean, even as a like kind of like a not a refugee, but runaway. What's the name for it? You know what I mean?
Except
Not expat. If you are being chased by authorities, kind of low key. And
well, you are
also,
a criminal.
not criminal. You can't expose yourself to cameras and start purchasing like SIM cards or having a bank account, because they will be onto you if you overstay. And this guy
True.
went under the radar for 25 years in Thailand. Impressive, by the way.
Well, he probably found some Thai person to buy him a SIM card, right? And give his.
There are ways,
his data.
we know how to do it. I'm just saying, this guy did it for 25 years, bro. Imagine how hard it probably was 20 years ago.
It's legendary.
Yeah. Where is Langelf? Yeah. I hope he joined VC, because he's interesting guy with interesting stories to tell. Yeah.
That's also here. The Apple 7 has a good question. What do you guys think about 5'5" height? Is it salvageable with height surgery, or is it just doomed no matter what? So what do you think?
It depends on his physique, his age, and his health, and the
It's not
length
gonna
of
make
his
a
legs.
Yeah, it does depend. You're right. It's not going to make a big difference in North America, even if you get to 5'9", which is most people from 5'5" won't get to 5'9" with surgery. It's difficult process.
The location is important as well.
Yeah.
And if he has already long legs in relation to the rest of his body, then even longer legs will look odd, you know, will look strange and achieve the contrary effect of what he wants to get. But if he has relatively short legs compared to his torso, then it can work, you know.
And he's in a good position, yeah.
Yeah, and if he's relatively young and healthy, maybe.
And handsome, attractive, yeah. But then again, how far could you raise it? What could you? How much centimeters could you gain max? 10, 15?
I don't know. I think 5 to 10, maybe something like that. But it depends, man. It's risky. The more you get, the riskier it gets. Yeah.
Yeah. So you would go from 5'5" to 5'7" to 5'8", right? Which is for
that
Europe.
Sounds,
yeah.
That sounds relatively safe. But I mean, as safe as it can be, you know.
Yeah. 10 centimeters would be from 5'5" to 5'7.5". So I don't know. You're still 5'8" or 5'7". That's for Europe. That's still small, especially if you are young. Those Zoomers, they are all almost 6 foot on average. Even some of the Foyts nowadays.
Yeah.
In the West.
Yeah. But if he goes to sea.
Yes, exactly. Here's the cheat code for you, Apple 7, my friend. Yeah. The younger you are, the better, the more attractive your girlfriend in Southeast Asia or in South America will be. Yeah. And you don't need a leg lengthening surgery. I see guys in Bangkok, I see guys all of the time who are like 5'5", 5'6", around that, yeah. And their Thai girlfriend is the same height or a little shorter.
Yeah.
And she's good looking.
So by the way,
use in if you are young, yeah, and somewhat normal looking and white, Yeah, you don't need the leg lengthening
way,
in Thailand.
it's so severe that I keep saying recently. Dating is only possible in Bangkok currently, in my opinion. Nowhere in the
Joke.
world, by the way, possibly currently. If you're sub 5, by the way. Somehow in Bangkok,
true.
temptations are negotiable. Even I still don't have all the explanations. Something to... Yeah, I'm not gonna shoot blanks tonight on the live stream here. I'm just saying, yeah. What do you think?
I think so, but Apple 7, even if you are not white, you are still, if you are still in your 20s or early 30s and a 4 or a 5, with that height, 5'5" in Thailand, Philippines, whatever, you're gonna still be much better off than having a leg lengthening surgery and staying in the West. I'm serious. I see guys with your height, with 5'4", 5'5", 5'6",
So,
having really cute girlfriends over there.
here is a picture, by the way, in 5 seconds on the live stream.
You guys, I'm like 182 centimeters. I'm half Hapa. But
Yes.
do you think I would do okay in Thailand,
Oh,
or do you think it's
perfectly.
like mainly?
Yeah, like a winner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, we have to ask, what kind of a hapa are you? Are you a white rice or a dark rice?
I'm half Chinese, but I've been told I look Mongolian.
Oh, that's good. They like the Korean look over there.
Yeah.
Go K-pop maxing.
I don't look Korean though. I look like I look like Genghis Khan.
Is there much difference? But yeah, there is a little difference. But yeah,
I'm not a K-pop max guy. I'm like
it's more important that you are from the West. You know, that's probably the most important. And it even works for brown and black guys from the West. I'm not kidding. I would say my experience here again, Apple 7. Yeah. If you are ethnic brown or black or however which word you want to use for this, yeah, you still get your looks max in Thailand
Looks
or
match.
in Southeast Asia, wherever you go, Philippines, wherever you go, yeah, you get your looks match. Even being 5'5", you get your looks match. In the West, you get nothing. Now you do your leg lengthening surgery, you go from 5'5" to 5'8". You're still gonna get nothing in the West. That's it.
do you think so? I've like whenever I meet like Filipina women or like I haven't met many Thai women in the U.S. but when I do meet them, they don't ever give me like any signals that they like
No,
me
they
or.
don't. They don't because they
Yeah,
switched
because we are in
environment.
the West.
Switched
Because they are
environment.
westernized.
Instantly they get whitewashed, by the way. Anyway, here on the live stream I'm placing this picture. This happened, I don't know, 2 months ago. This happened 3 months ago. Just when I returned from my last CMAX. And I read this story on Bangkok Post. And I'm like, damn. This dude literally actually had a Thai... Actually, Thai woman and Thai kid. He made a kid during the overstay. It's like, bro, I am now boiling from jealousy, you know, if you ask me.
Hey, what did I miss?
Yeah,
That's
look
interesting.
on the
That's
look on the
interesting,
screen.
though.
Yeah, Mercer, go ahead.
That's interesting. I've never done solo travel or anything like that. But like the last time I traveled, I went to Taiwan when I was in college, but like Taiwan is like I don't know. I there's not that like I don't think Taiwan is a good geomaxing place to be honest.
Hold on. You said Taiwan.
Taiwan, yeah.
Okay, here's the deal. I know about this Slavic Trump singer. I mean, like a country, like you know, and he's actually like alcoholic, no money, and he actually traveled Asia almost no cost, just by gesturing with his guitar, and he also ended up in Taiwan, and he hagmaxed with some old attractive noodle for like I think he was smashing her, I don't know, 2 or 3 months, and then they split. But that's like good enough, bro. I admire that, you know. What do you think?
Maybe I don't know. It's do you guys you guys are familiar with Winston Wu, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
of course.
yeah.
Yeah,
Isn't he
he's
half abroad?
he was like the original like Geomaxer guy, or one of the original Geomaxers, the happyabroad.com. He
Philippines. He was most of the time in the Philippines. Yeah.
yeah, he advocated for the Philippines mostly, but what's it called? He said Taiwan was not his family, I guess, is from Taiwan, but he grew up in the US. He says Taiwanese people are like they're polite, but they're not like very friendly.
Correct.
Meanwhile, like cultures like the Philippines and Thailand are a bit
Yes,
like they're actually like friendly
Here's the
cultures.
deal. Here's the deal.
Yeah,
You can
that's
count
like all
on one
northern
fact,
rice. All
basically.
northern
Hold
rice
on,
are
Mercer.
like that.
Like the more pale you are, the more defensive and sarcastic you are, and not how hospitable, I would say. What do you think?
Sorry, say it again.
The more pale you are, the less friendly you
Yeah,
are.
that helps a lot.
What
Yeah,
do you say?
like but that's all of Asia. Asia's like that. It's to do with something to do with if you were fair skinned, it meant that you didn't work in the sun, and it was like a status signifier of some sort. And yeah, that's all of Asia's like that. It's not. There's not one country that isn't like that. Though, as an outsider, as a foreigner, you're still not going to be held to exactly the same standards as a local. Though I would say if you're Northern Rice, like you're Chinese or something, or Japanese or Korean, yeah, Southeast Asia, you will have a huge status boost. Like the Chinese have been geomaxing in Southeast Asia for literally centuries. Like if you go to Thailand, like every other person in urban Thailand has some kind of Chinese paternal ancestor, because the Chinese dudes that just geomax there and then mog the locals, money mog them, and also skin color mog them.
I remember during my study abroad session in Taiwan, one of the girls was there was a couple of girls from Thailand, and one of them was like looked really Chinese, like we're talking like really Chinese, and the other one was like I think she was like a MTF or something, but she was like the opposite of a lady boy, like a manly girl or something. I don't know, but she was like the opposite of a lady boy. It was like she was like
It's
a
called
woman wanting to be a guy.
a tomboy.
But
It's called.
yeah, she was like a tomboy, but she wasn't like the cute anime tomboy. She wasn't like very attractive. But and then there's another girl who was like she was more darker, like the traditional what I would think of like a Thai woman, but she was still like not bad looking, like to be honest, even though she had darker skin and those more like kind of Southeast Asian features.
Also about Thailand, it's a very mixed society. You know, they had immigration from India, from Afghanistan, from Pakistan. They had immigration from China. They had immigration from
Everywhere.
the south, from the Malay people. Yeah.
Everywhere.
So definitely, if you see the whites, so even for Maddie and me, our two ex-girlfriends, they had both Chinese granddads, right? So they had a pretty light skin. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot like Latin America in that regard, right? Because what you notice in these countries that are mixed is that like specific ethnicity starts mattering less, and certain general features matter more, like having fair skin. So it doesn't really matter if you're Chinese or if you're Japanese or if you're European or whatever, or even Middle Eastern, right? As long as you have the certain phenotype that they like, and which is typically fair skin, is one of the important features, that can go a long way.
Yeah,
And
Chinese
also,
like the high nose, like they call like a gaobi. It's like the high, like the more like Western style nose. They really like that, and it does occur naturally within the Chinese population. It's just rare, but like that's why they like the Western like style nose.
yeah, I should probably try that then, because I've got like the perfect Foyd nose. I'm not even joking. Like my nose, if I was a woman, would be perfect. Now, as a dude, it doesn't do anything for me, right? But as a woman, it would be excellent. So I should actually, I should try and offer that as a selling point.
Don't say that, Merce. Don't say that, man. Especially not to somebody who's more nose than a man.
Oh, that's brutal.
No cell. No, wait, what's that Pokemon?
Hey, listen,
Nose
the
patch?
thing is though, that if you've got like a big nose, you can always shave some of that off, right? It's more difficult to make a small subhuman nose into a normal looking nose than it is to make a big subhuman nose into a normal looking nose.
And also have rhinoplasty, and many fights do this as their first or first and only operation, right?
I live in the U.S. where I live with a lot of Korean people. I'm not Korean, but I live with a lot of Korean people, and yeah, that's like the first surgery like a lot of girls get. That they get the nose job.
I thought they got the
Korea.
eyelid job.
Yeah, that's the second they usually get. Yeah.
I'm not sure about
Thailand and Korea has a lot of plastic surgery fights.
Did you hear about the hymen surgery in Korea? They like they put a woman's hymen back or something before marriage.
Oh yeah. Oh, they love that in certain Muslim countries too.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. A lot of I'm not sure who said this. Maybe it was Martin Goldberg. He said like a lot of Muslim girls they said, oh, I need to be a virgin for marriage, so they just like take it up the ass.
Yeah, they do what the Catholic girls used to do. Back before, when they at least pretended to care about that sort of thing. Now they don't even bother.
Yeah.
I heard the same that some Chinese women also do this. Yeah. But hey, you go and figure out and tell us the conclusion then, huh?
Yeah. Well, you would know more than we would, right? Because you've actually been to Malaysia and Indonesia, and we're actually relying on your reports here, you know?
What you hear and what is true, actually, if you don't experience it yourself. Some things, of course, are true, yeah, but others you'll see are totally different.
Yeah.
It's just worth traveling and experiencing another lifestyle, another way of life. It's always interesting.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Then you only understand what is wrong with your society. Before you'll never understand fully. Yeah.
In order to compare, you need to see something different.
Exactly.
I'm such like a poor cell. It's weird. Like my family's like, well, it's like kind of well off, but like they don't give me any money or anything. So like, I'm working like shitty jobs that I can barely hold on to for like more than a year. And then like I all my money goes to like food and fixing my car. Like I don't ever save money to go on like trips or anything.
So you're like, your parents are boomer max then, because that's very typical boomer behavior.
Yeah, it's my mom's actually like my mom works in real estate and she makes actually a lot of money, and then it's like but she like doesn't want to lift a finger to help me find a job for some reason.
Yeah, they all believe that it's like when they were growing up, you could just stumble and fail your way into a job, because that's what a lot of them did. Like I know, like I have some of the ridiculous stories I've heard from boomers over my lifetime, and it's like you hear it and it's like it's a parallel universe. Like my dad got a job once because the manager brought him to a bar during work hours, so this would be like 2 p.m. or something, and because he didn't order any alcohol, they hired him on the spot because he wasn't a day drinker. That's the sort of shit that would happen back then, and we're talking like this isn't like a bullshit job. This was the start of his trade career, so it's ridiculous.
Brutal. Yeah, typical boomer lore is like I worked at a summer camp after I graduated high school, and I bought a Corvette, and then I started a business with my friends with no money, and now I'm a millionaire.
Yeah.
Typical boomer lore.
All right, dudes. I'm leaving. I think I'm coming back later.
All right.
I want to just answer this question of Apple 7. Okay, Apple 7, I assume. Firstly, join the Discord. Join Maddie's Discord. You have a lot of us are geomaxers there. You can ask all of these questions in detail. Yeah. But just to answer it very shortly, if you go from 5'5" to 5'10", yeah, or 6 foot, the higher you go with your leg lengthening, the bigger the chance will be when you turn old to be disabled. Yeah. So I want to walk when I'm old, man. I'm telling you. So is Philippines the best, or Thailand, or Japan? Philippines, well, it's a fucking ghetto, yeah. But the dating is by far the best, yeah. Girls there will initially they will ask you, some of them, half of them, at least half of my dates asked me, if they can sleep over at the end of the date. Yeah. So that's how good dating is. Yeah, in the Philippines. But the other side of it, it's a ghetto. It stinks. It's chaotic. It's full of people. I'm talking about Manila. Yeah. You may be
I
better
heard
off at the islands. Wait a second. You may be better off at the islands, but then there is no public transport. The islands are just so remote, that's, yeah. So anyways, in Japan, unless, well, you said you learn Japanese. That's good. Yeah. When you speak Japanese, you have a chance. Now you said you are not white. I cannot tell you about this. I don't know. If you are not white, probably learning Japanese, you should learn another language. I'm not kidding. I don't know about, because
What's your background?
Japanese, they are very nationalistic, right? They are. It's hard to. I heard from white guys they are doing well in Japan, but only if you learn English. Well, good enough, not well. Yeah, and Thailand is a good mix of everything. Yeah, to tell you the truth, it's affordable. The dating is good enough. It's not as good as in the Philippines or anywhere else. Yeah, so I would still vouch for Thailand. Yeah, unless you like you somehow can see yourself. African American black. Okay, well, I don't know. What do you guys think?
Who said that
There's a big difference
in
between a
Manila
black
they
and a
love
white
hip hop and
Westerner.
American things, right?
Yes. Oh, yes. That's
Who
another
said that?
thing for
I
you.
don't know.
Yeah. It's like the Filipinos, because right they were, well, the Americans helped them to get rid of the Japanese, and then they made Philippines to an American colony, basically, right? And so they love everything about American culture. That includes basketball, yeah, and rap music and hip hop music. So you as an African American guy would do well there, yeah. Then again, in
I
Thailand,
know this. I just want to say really, I know this. I know this. Like, he's a boomer, but he's like a Black American boomer, and he actually was stationed in the Philippines. When he was in the army, and he ended up like marrying a Filipino woman. He divorced. Like, they divorced later, but apparently, like, he does well with Asian women. I don't know. And he has
Exactly.
two daughters that are like half Filipino, and they don't look ugly.
Yeah. And again, Mercer just wrote it in the chat. The flips are definitely the shortest. Yeah. So, but then again, I told you I saw in Bangkok average-looking guys with better-looking foids. Yeah. But those were mostly whites. I saw Black Americans in Thailand with their looks match. Yeah. If you can stomach the Philippines, yeah, stay there. Manila for sure is a hellhole. Yeah. And you could go to the islands. Yeah, I wouldn't go in any kind of a bigger city in the Philippines, because Cebu and the other cities are basically like Manila but worse. Yeah. So yeah, Japanese, I don't know. It's great that you learn Japanese. That really gives you a chance, but I don't know how Japanese women react to black guys. I just only heard that they give white guys a chance to do the effort to learn
Currently, the situation
Japanese.
after the Ubisoft scandal is terrible.
Oh, yeah.
I can't even
Oh, yeah.
I don't even want to get into this.
Oh god, that was brutal.
It's international
Yeah.
scandal, and I don't recommend going to Japan currently.
Yeah. There you go, Apple 7. Yeah. They
Black
don't
Leagues
they
got
don't
us to Ubisoft, like a class action lawsuit.
yeah, they don't respect black samurais in Japan. Yeah. I would say, look, let's put it like that. They don't respect black samurais in Japan. They love black basketball players and rappers in Philippines. And in Thailand, the chicks more or less don't. Some of the
You
chicks
can
really don't
buy
mind
in
if you are
Thailand.
black or white or brown.
In
Yeah,
Thailand,
as long as you're a
intimacy
Westerner.
is negotiable.
We was
Yeah.
samurais and she, you know. Well,
Yeah. All right, dudes. See you later.
See you
bye-bye.
later.
We was samurais and she.
That's right.
That's right.
I'm
That's right.
saying most deaf.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sort of on the fence on that. Like, I'm definitely going to Geomax. I just haven't decided if it's Latin America or if it's Southeast Asia.
Do you speak Spanish at all, Mercer, or no?
Like I don't speak. I've never been exposed to it in like an academic setting, but I have tried to learn it just using apps and stuff, and it's easier than French to pick up. So it's something I could learn, I think, pretty quickly.
What's it called? One of my friends, he didn't go for like a geo for like to get women. I think he just went to visit. He really liked Brazil. By like a lot of like he said Brazil was really nice. It was like just the people there were really like friendly and stuff.
You know what I've heard about Brazil though? Apparently, it's just in the last couple of years, it's gotten really bad with feminism and stuff. Like it's really turned a corner when it comes to that stuff. I've heard from
Kind of like
Brazilians.
the
I don't know.
alternate version
Maybe
of
they're gaslighting me, but that's what I've been told, anyways.
it's kind of like an alternate version of like the U.S. that's more like multiracial. It's and
It's
like
the U.S.
poorer.
Kamala one. Let's.
It's more brown, I guess. I don't know how else to say it. It's more brown.
Yeah, they've got a lot more African population in Brazil. They're a lot more mixed.
There are areas of the southern Brazil near like Uruguay that are like very white. Like a lot of the people there have German or Italian, maybe from the certain people fleeing there in the 60s and 50s. But
Yeah, yeah, that is true actually. Yeah, I remember seeing this. Have you guys ever seen 90 Day Fiancé? There's certain
Oh,
women that are just obsessed with that show. But there was this. I remember there was this one episode where this Mormon guy went to Brazil and he found this absolute knockout, like this total babe, just in the jungles somewhere in Brazil. Like he was on like a mission or something. Like you know how they do because he's a Mormon, they do like the religious missions. And he
yeah,
met this chick.
Like a
She was
native
total
chick?
bombshell.
Like a native?
No, no,
Like,
she was some kind of I mean, she probably did have some admixture from natives or maybe a little bit of black or whatever, because most of them do. But she looked mostly European.
I see.
oh wow,
Yeah, I'll see if I can find it
yeah,
actually.
it's
Because
like
this chick
some
was
like
absolutely
like
gorgeous, and she actually seemed like she had a genuinely sweet personality. Like it's like they found her in some sort of cryostasis in the jungle, like where they keep the personality Max Stacy's. Let's see here.
Brazilian culture is very different. Maybe they are getting more feminist, I'm not sure, but apparently it's very normal to like make out with random people. Like
Yeah,
it's
it's
more
pretty
normal.
that's just
right?
how it is there. Yeah.
It is. It is.
A lot of like there's a lot of let's see there's a lot of transformers in Brazil. I just want to warn
Yes.
anybody.
Yes, there are. I've heard this, yeah. I know people in Brazil, so
And they're constantly it supports it. Like everyone can get free cosmetic surgery done. It's in their constitution.
wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're very like a lot of Optimus Primes and there's a lot of Autobots and Decepticons there.
Yeah, it's kind of like I had it explained to
But
me.
yeah, there's a
by
lot of like I
Brazilian.
guess.
They're in this weird situation where
Oh, you go on. Sorry.
it's such a dangerous and violent country that everybody just sort of lives like it's their last day on Earth, and so you have people do like crazy crap.
Yeah.
There's Alien and Curliam. Ah, that's it. Okay, here I'm gonna send this to Metacam. Hold on, because this chick really is a babe. Like,
What's
it's,
the yeah?
yes,
I
and
believe it.
JPG.
I mean, Mormons are kind of known. Aren't Mormons like I don't know? It's like weird. Like I feel like Mormons like they're part of this like cult that like that they should be like in these insular communities they should be like paired up more or less. But I guess it's even hard for them.
It is even hard for them, yeah.
Yeah, like I'm like all these like like whether it be like the Hasidic Jews or like the Amish or whatever these like these certain cults or sects of very like tight knit insular groups. They usually have like matchmaking services for them. There's one guy I know that he's a Persian Jew, but he's like an apostate. He's like he like left the community but he said like he would have been if he stayed he would have been handed like an 18-year-old kissless handholdless virgin.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yo, cult maxing is really based. It really does work. It is. I mean, hey, look. I mean, we could say it's cringe, as in like you shouldn't brainwash people. But I mean, if you need to, the thing is like the way that you keep women behaving in the way that you want them to be brutally honest, is you have to isolate their social network to within whatever the community is that you're part of, right? Like that's the reason why. Like I saw this with Middle Eastern immigrant groups, like the Lebanese here in Canada, the first and second generation ones. They would let the guys date out like whatever women they wanted. Like they wouldn't let them marry local girls, but they'd let them date whatever. But the women, the Lebanese women, could not even like look at a white guy, or they would get disowned by their families. And that really works. I mean, it helps keep control, and it's because they have no social network outside of their community. That's how you control them, and then, but of course by the second, third generation they start making those social network connections, and then it's over.
Hey, GoldPiller, we are live on YouTube.
Oh, cool.
I see John 100 in the chat and other people, 28 people in the house. Thanks for tuning in. It's open mic, anybody can join. How are you coping, Gold?
Yeah,
I'm doing good.
take a JPEG, just look it up.
Okay.
Or just Google Alan and Curly Ann. This chick has a really weird name, but
Yeah, she hot. I see the picture. I'm sure.
yeah. Here, I'll send it to you. Hold on. Okay, here. He found this chick in the Brazilian jungle. I have no idea how, but
Man, without the kid, come on. Can you blur that? Anyway, go ahead.
what? Oh my god.
When will... There's a question for you. When will Mercer join Thomas White talk show?
I saw it at like the last minute. I didn't realize it was playing until it was almost over, and I dropped in to say like, "Hey, what's up?" But yeah, if he wants to do an interview or something, I'd be perfectly happy with that. Sounds like it'd be great. Yeah, Apple, it's kind of brutal. This is also why we need to really bully Medican into doing black-pilled geomaxing stuff, because your options not only vary based on your age, based on your previous stats, like your height and your looks, but also by your race, right? Like that's going to make a huge impact on where you'll have more or less success. Like Japan is one of those areas where it's really specific. Like obviously, in theory, anybody could could be successful anywhere. You know how, like outlier just be an outlier theory. But if we're talking about odds, like the odds of you being successful, if you look at like the kind of Asian girls that are most likely to be fine with dating black guys, it's going to be more often in Southeast Asia than Northeast Asia. They tend to be a lot less judgmental on that stuff. And yeah, Philippines, because of the pro-American bias there, that helps a lot. Like that would be your best bet.
A lot of black guys I heard, like they go to Colombia and they've been kind of like, people are complaining that they're like kind of ruining Colombia because they go there and they get with all the prostitutes and club girls, and then they spend way too much money on them, and then all the girls think
Yes.
like,
Yes. They are ruining Latin. Like, listen, I'm like, first of all, just for full context, I'm half French, and the French we're just by nature, we have really perverse interests, like desires. And so like I've always had this taste for like either mulatto or Blasian girls. And so I would always wanted
Wait,
to look at
what was this
Dominican Republic,
for what was the last part? For what girls?
like mulatto or Blasian girls, like mixed black and white or mixed black and Asian. Like I always found them fine, but the problem is that apparently black American guys have completely ruined Dominican Republic, completely ruined it by just going there, dumping money into these hoes and just blasting their egos through the stratosphere. Like it's really bad now. Even for the local guys, like Dominican Republic's one of those countries where they've always been kind of like a semi outlaw country. Like even back in the day, they were like a pirate haven. So they're sort of used to scamming people that try and buy their way in. But nowadays it's just terrible. Like you can't really, like, even if you're white or whatever, or you have like a good amount of money that you could look at the more upper crust part of Dominican Republic, they've just completely ruined it just with their sheer numbers because it's so accessible, right? Like it's right across the pond from Florida.
Them going to like Jamaica or like Haiti or like even like West Africa. Like I don't hear many cases of guys go. It's probably just easier, and it's just the current meme place to go. Yo, where does a brother need to go get laid? It's like, oh, go to the DR, man. It's like huge.
Yeah, Africa is also it's kind of a surreal place, right? Like if you talk to people who've been to Africa, you'll see shit that you would imagine that you could only see in like nature documentaries. Like if like people getting lynched and like set on fire and stuff. At the same time though, you'll have perfectly modern buildings in places like Ghana. Like you'll have like a downtown business district that's all nice and polished and set up, and then you drive a couple hours and you see some guy getting neck laced in the street because he stole some shoes or something. Like it's really a bizarre place. And the thing is, the women
They're
really, like they're super
people alive.
monogamous when it comes to money. Like they're super, you got to have money. But the thing is, they don't have any age limit. Like they will go with the gnarliest grandpas, as long as you can pay for them.
I went to the Dominican Republic last year.
I'm not sure if
Wait,
it's
hold
like a
on.
psyop, but
Gold,
did you hear
what are you
about
saying?
like the British women going to Gambia?
Gold, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I went to Dominican Republic last year. Did you go to Sosua?
Who?
Whoever said they went to the DR.
No, we were just talking about the DR and how like Black Americans like have kind of ruined it as a geomaxing place, and they dump way too much money on the girls and like
Yeah, it's
Did you go to Sosua? The city Sosua?
no, I didn't go. No, not there.
Someone said they went.
there was a guy in the Discord server that has gone to the DR, but he said the same thing. It's a mess now.
Have you gone?
No, I haven't. No, it was one of the
I
areas
went there.
I was considering.
Dominican Republic.
Hello?
Yes. Go ahead. I'm listening.
All right, they got two cities that people go to: Sosua and Santo Domingo. And Sosua is like where all the black guys fly into Sosua.
Dang, yeah.
Yeah. I think if I were gonna go there, I would go up in the mountains to like Pico Duarte or something, and just hide out there.
Yeah, I
Away
went,
from
I
all the
went
damn
to, I went to Sosua, and then I didn't like it too much. And then I paid a cab driver to drive me across the island, but to Santo Domingo, which is their capital. And they got this place, GBP, I think, Girls Lounge, and there's like a few like Casa Roja, like the red house. They have like a red light on it. It's kind of hard to find the red light shit in Santo Domingo, but it's cheaper. And black guys don't fly into that Santo Domingo thing.
I wonder what women do they get with there, because I know Dominicans can come in many different like strides and colors. Like, are they getting with the blacker, like Dominican women, or like just the kind of like, I don't know, do that brown skin? Even I've seen light skinned Dominicans too.
Yeah, they would be going after the lighter skin ones, I imagine, right? Like because that's typically what they would be into, be like the lighter skin mixed race ones. But here's the ironic thing: if you know anything
what I
about the
saw.
history, it's
Huh?
if you know anything about the history of the Dominican Republic, they're like the most anti-black country in all of Latin
The Haiti
America.
controversy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a totally. This is another reason why I like Dominican Republic. They're just this. It's like a country that's built on irony, right? It's like such an
Well,
ironic country.
what I've seen them do is I don't see most of them with girls very often. Mostly they come in big groups and then they rent expensive like ATVs and then go around in circles with their 10 friends or 5 friends. They travel in big groups and then they'll smoke cigars and sit around, and they aren't with girls too often, to be honest.
It was probably because they get scammed a lot. Like the Dominicans just love fucking scamming. It's their thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because
I
Man, I
can't
had to leave.
yes.
I had to leave Sasua because this guy, he offered to give me a tour of the area, and he did. But then he started doing shit tons of coke and booze, and he wouldn't leave me alone for money for days. I had to change cities.
Wow.
Yeah, they have this hustle mentality. That's just how it is. I mean,
Yeah,
with a lot of these
he's a real
countries,
pain in
right?
the ass.
They don't like they don't have the concept of steady employment like we do. They have the concept of hustling. Like you gotta be aggressively pursuing people to try and make money off of them. That's sort of the way, and that's how most of these countries work. You know.
I think that's why there's a lot of Dominicans, and like I live near New York, like New York City, and I think that's why a lot of Dominicans like New York. It's like, why would the Dominicans come here? It's like cold as shit in the winter and whatever. It's probably like they probably like the way New York operates, like that kind of hustle culture.
I didn't
Yeah,
like
that's
Dominican Republic that much, to be honest. I was okay. Santo Domingo was okay. Sosua, I didn't like it that much. They got a cool thing. They got these things called cabanas, and there's like you go to this like it's like a hotel, but like you drive into a garage, or you get a taxi there, and they drop you off at a garage, and you just walk. And there's a whole row of garages, and you walk in, you go up the stairs, you shut the garage, you go up the stairs, and there's like a steel turnstile up in the room, and the guy just they don't even check ID or anything. They're just like, just give me money. Like you put them on 20, $30 for the room, and then the girl can come meet you. And so if you're like gonna cheat on your wife or something, then you can just go there, and no one knows.
Damn.
And like you can get
Dang.
like a hooker to show up and stuff. And no one knows that you went. Your car's parked in a garage, and you don't have to like check in. You just show up, you pull in the garage, walk up the stairs for that one apartment unit, and then there's a steel turnstile in the room, and like you put the money in, like $30, and then and then you turn it, and then the guy puts like condoms and like 2 bottles of water in, and then turns the turnstile back to you, and you're good. You got like 4 hours.
4
And see,
hours
that's
with
one
a
of
girl.
those things.
Oh no.
Well, you got to bring your own girl. It's not it's just a place you like if you
Oh,
have a
okay,
girl
okay,
and like
okay.
the girl comes and meets you, right?
Okay.
And then so like no one like knows who's meeting you, and they don't check in at all, and so it's all very anonymous. And a lot of Chinese run those now, the cabanas. They have them in the Philippines as well. They're called Sogos,
The
but they don't have
Chinese run
garages. They
massage
have
parlors here.
huh?
They run massage parlors, and you can go and get your wee wee tugged by like a 6-year-old Chinese woman, or some of them are young, but a lot of them are kind of like older.
If like you have like a lot of these guys, the rich Dominicans have like mistresses and stuff, and then that's where they meet them, like cabanas.
Dang.
Yeah, I'm wondering if being like having the stereotypes of being less degenerate, I guess you could say, helps a little bit with dating women there, or if it's an actual like turn off, like we're seen as
I think it's more because like Dominican men have like they have like a reputation about them even like overseas that they're kind of like I don't know, maybe women like them, but they also like they cheat a lot, or they it's like, oh, they're good in bed, but they're gonna cheat on you or whatever, like a lot of women like that. I don't know.
Yeah, but I'm
I don't even
wondering
think
Dominican women who see that as, because all women see their own men as the default, so it's going to be like a relative thing, right? Because
Yeah.
usually when I see women talk about like Hispanic women talk about, say, men from Europe or whatever, like the first thing that they talk about is, oh well, he's not going to cheat on me, or he's a lot less likely, or that's usually what they talk about. So I'm wondering if that
It's not really
actually.
cheating when men do it.
What's that?
It's not cheating when men do it.
Yeah, well, they don't see it that way, right?
Well, no, because you just don't tell them, and then it didn't happen. Or if they catch you, you just turn it around on them and say that they're doing it.
Yeah, but they
No, I
still
deny
have certain impressions, right? So Europeans
I doubt it.
have less of a reputation for that than, say, Latin American guys do. Like that's usually what I hear when I hear Hispanic women talk about gringos. Like usually the first thing they talk about is, oh well, he's probably going to be more loyal. And I wonder if that's a real plus, or if it even matters really when it comes to attracting them.
I don't think it matters. I think what matters is two things: you can speak Spanish, and do you actually live there? If you have those two things, if you actually live in the DR and then you speak Spanish and you have money, then that's all they care about. Those three things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But
knew this guy.
everything
He's
else,
Italian American. He's like a Gen Xer, but he like his first wife was like Dominican or something, and he speaks like a good amount of Spanish. I'm not sure if he's like fluent, but he's like he can have conversations with people. But he seems to do very well in the Philippines. He's like kind of like he's not like money max to like insane amount, but he has money, and he's like he kind of knows how the place works. He even has a house down there.
yeah, you can buy a house in the Dominican Republic. You can buy anything you want, but it got expensive. Like, buying like certain land there is expensive in the DR. Even though it's useless, it's expensive.
Yeah.
You buy like a mansion, it's like I don't know, like I don't even know how much, like 50,000.
Yeah, it
No, it'd be a
depends.
lot.
Like, if you get one in the mountains,
Probably
I'm just looking at it out of
250,000.
curiosity.
If
You can
it's
get a literal mansion.
if
for,
it's in
like, under
Canada,
50K.
then it's $10 million.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's expensive over there because it's so close to the U.S. Like, you can fly from Miami to the Dominican Republic in 2 hours. It's closer than Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Actually,
And
I
they
was
don't
wrong.
deport
So check it
Americans.
out. If an old
Like you-
derelict house in Canada costs 10 million, then what? How much costs like a really nice, like a villa, like a huge house? Like a half a
in
billion?
Canada?
Like half a billion, or like what are we talking here?
Probably
Depends where you
50 million.
You can see some absurd stuff in Vancouver, like townhouses going for over $1 million in Vancouver. It's ridiculous.
New York City is like insane too. It's like a penthouse. It's like multi-million-dollar. It's like one apartment.
But at least there's some financial justification for that. Like there's a lot of money locked up in New York. There's nothing in Vancouver. It's just Chinese laundered money that's sitting there.
Yeah.
Like as soon as the Chinese decide to pull their money out, that entire real estate economy is going to completely collapse, because Vancouver is just a colder Seattle. Like,
See, are there a lot of tweakers in Vancouver? Like, even though it's so
yeah,
close to Seattle, and like,
it is exactly like that. And I don't know what it is about the West Coast, but Like even historically, if you read about the immigration into Vancouver, even before like there was non-white immigration, it was like the fail sons of aristocrats and like upper class merchants. Like their degenerate fail sons would get sent to Vancouver to straighten themselves out. That was the idea. And like to this day, if you look at the average IQs in Canada, BC is one of the lower ones. It's like 94 or 93.
And is that like Chinese are typically like, I'm not saying they're the most like humane people, but they tend to have high IQs. So I guess if that's counting the Chinese like IQ, then that's pretty bad. Like
Exactly. Yeah, the Chinese typically are going to be around 105 at least. Well, at least 104, I would say at least. But the thing is,
the least,
Vancouver.
like even like uneducated Chinese probably are like maybe like 100 minimum. Like
Yeah, like they're going to be. And for context, if you look at Quebec, Quebec's average IQ is something like 102. Okay, and that's like one of the whitest provinces. Okay,
they also have a lot
so,
of African, like they have a lot of former French colony people in Quebec. Like
yeah, they
because
do.
it's
Now,
like
yeah.
it's like
But we're
one of
talking
my
about
old coworkers. He got his master's degree in Quebec, and he's from Senegal. But he said it was very like he said as long as you speak French, they kind of it's not that hard to immigrate there.
Yeah, the Quebecois are kind of stupid like that.
It's
They'll
about
make a
that.
big deal about you speaking French or not speaking French, but like if you speak French, you're considered above an Anglo that's been there for hundreds of years. It's really dumb. But anyways, yeah,
Yeah.
the thing is, Vancouver is one of the few cities in Ottawa, excuse me, one of the few cities in Canada that doesn't have a really harsh winter, where it's like pretty close to above zero throughout the entire year. And as a result, there's tons and tons of homeless people that live there. Like it's one of the homeless meccas of Canada.
Dang.
Yeah. So as soon as the money gets pulled out by the Chinese, as soon as Wong and his buddies decide to try somewhere else to launder their money, Vancouver's going to just completely implode.
So the
What happened to
homeless
the,
in Vancouver, man, you said 0 Celsius year around. I should learn some survival techniques from these dudes because that's our future, no? Like,
Of all the, of course, that's what you would think of. Of course.
yeah.
Well, I mean, that's one
future
thing you could do.
coping
You could go to
mechanisms.
Vancouver, you could interview the homeless people. Try not to get yourself shamed, but you could ask them how to survive.
So there is that question from Apple. Basically, he asked about Philippines, and yes, that's the place where they speak English, and
Yeah, they
it's
speak
easy
English.
for Americans. Very easy for Americans. In Thailand, nobody gonna understand you. I had to basically learn some Thai in my case, but I am that type of tourist. Yeah, most of the tourists are ignorant. Yeah.
Sawatika.
Brutal. Crap.
Sawatika.
You say crap if you are a dude. Ka is for women. Crap.
Oh, Sawatika. Thai sounds very like coming from someone who knows like Chinese. Thai sounds very like I don't know. It sounds like they're singing almost. It's like a very like jolly like language. I mean, maybe it's not super ugly, but hey.
Yeah, I remember not meeting like in person, but years and years ago when Skype was still a thing. I remember there was this Thai chick who added me. I'm forgetting the context and how I met her, but I remember I guess she wanted to learn English, and that's why she wanted to talk to me. But I don't know if they make this fake intonation or not. But it was like the most ear raping. Like she would be like teacher in like the most high pitched screechy fucking voice I've
they
ever
are
heard in my life.
prolonging the end of the words. Everything on the end of the word.
It's like holy shit. Like it's like the worst accent I've ever heard for English. Maybe second to Indian accents. Okay. Philippines, I will give them this, is that the Filipino accent is actually great. I really like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as like
Because
non-native English speakers, so it is really good. And like
Yeah.
it's kind of like cute. I don't know. At least when the women speak, like "Hello there, I'm from Philippines." Like it's kind of like that.
Yeah. It's just what I remember the most about them is the bekas. How they say because.
Okay.
I remember one time I was working for a call center years and years and years ago. And I got this Filipino woman on the phone, and I was just walking her through it was like some billing issue or whatever. And I remember I was just doing small talk while I was waiting for something to load. And just out of nowhere, she's like, "Oh, she asked me if I was married," and I was like, "Oh no, I'm not. I'm single." She's like, "Oh, would you like to marry my cousin?" Like out of fucking nowhere. It's like, damn, that was easy. Yeah, of course that. Obviously, you can't accept marriage proposals over the phone when you're working as a customer service agent, but yeah, it was. That was years ago though. That was like all the way back in 2014 or something, or 2015.
Brutal. Yeah, that's how you know it's like a healthier culture when they like.
Yeah,
Essentially
so I
kinda
mean,
say-
there's
I
some
don't think
weird
white
stuff
people
that
ever
goes
do
on.
that or like.
Like, have you seen their sports teams?
In the Philippines? No.
Which one?
Yeah. They're like all mixed. Like if you're like a flip male, like a pure blood flip male, it must be really brutal watching sports because they're all mixed. They're like their baseball team, I think it is like 3/4 either half white or half black, and I think there was like one half Middle Eastern guy, and of course all by the fathers. You know, like that's got to be so brutal. Like, how could you even enjoy sports? Like,
I don't
watching
think like. Do you think like the Filipino men they care like when they see their women missing out a lot, or it's because they have like like the healthy population pyramid don't really care as much?
To be honest, I think
Oh,
it's the what you said there, the
hold on.
latter, because they're one of the countries that has an unusually high birth rate because of the Catholicism. It was actually illegal to have contraception up until recently.
Hold on, there is a guest, I mean, caller in waiting lobby. I'm gonna bring him in. Everybody ready?
Sure.
And can you hit it? Can you hit it raw? It's like I guess it's
Brazi.
illegal to not hit it
Hey,
raw.
Brazi, welcome to live stream. We are live.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hey, what's up?
Yes.
Hey, this is me. I was typing your guys' chat on YouTube.
Yeah, come
It's nice to meet.
closer. Come closer to mic. It's hard to hear you.
Oh, wait, can you hear me now?
It's kind of muffled, but we hope we understand. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so what were you guys thinking? Like, do you think English is good enough, or you need to learn Philippines language too?
No, English is good
I mean,
enough
you can
in
do.
Philippines. That's it.
Yeah, English
Yeah,
is probably good enough, but if you learn
yeah.
Tagalog, it would help you. But English is fine.
But in Thailand, if you want to impress the locals, the language is way to go, and they're gonna love you. That's why I'm saying not everything is about look smogging. It will only get you so far. You could be look like a trophy or like a circus freak, but you can forget about real friendships with Thai people, by the way. But everybody has different priorities, so I mean, there you go. Go ahead, boyos.
Yeah, for Thailand, I've come here about 8 different times for multiple months, and I still don't have any like friends here, except for expats.
Yeah. You are that type of tourist. I mean, but I was the opposite.
Medican somehow managed to get somebody giving him an illegal job there.
So
you should explain that story.
I was the opposite case. All the expats in Thailand, they gave me the look of death. Go home. And I was very lucky with locals. Yeah, they're very hospitable.
Yeah, explain the story about that weed shop that you were able to work at for a while. This is a really weird one.
Yeah, so I think wait, can I talk?
Brazi, go ahead.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so I think maybe I will go for to visit the Philippines then, or maybe go live there. I like their culture. Anyway, so I think it's okay. I think like Thailand, he says like it's hard to get friends there or something, and I guess Japan is not an option. I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess Philippines will probably be the best one to go. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the thing. Another thing that you have to know about the Japanese and also Koreans and other northern rice, but especially the Japanese, is they are extremely introverted. Like if you're the kind of person that's a misanthrope or like that just does not socialize at all or is perfectly happy never socializing, Japan's actually great for that. But if you're the kind of person that does want to socialize at all, like even slightly, it's quite difficult. Like they're not a very social people at all. Um, Even worse than like Koreans. Koreans are not too bad in that regard. The problem is Koreans are A, they're very racist, and B, they're very superficial, like extremely superficial.
Do you think the Japanese are racist too, or not really?
Kind
Yes,
of.
they are.
I don't know. I couldn't comment on whether they're really racist or not. I just know that they're just very asocial, and they're also very just naturally shy. And I know this. I don't know this from going there, but like one time I used to work overnights, and I used to play. You guys have probably heard of Gary's Mod, right? On Steam.
Yes.
Yeah.
Play Gary's mods at times where East Asians would play because it was overnights, so it would be like from like 4 a.m. to 10 a.m. or something. And I used to play on Korean servers and Japanese servers. And what I found was the Korean servers, they were actually usually they would find you as a curiosity. They would just even if they couldn't speak any English, they would like try and communicate with broken English with you, and it was entertaining. Like it was fun. With the Japanese, they would just not talk. Period, and they wouldn't even talk to each other. Like if you play Team Fortress 2, they would play like the team game and it looked like they would coordinate really effectively, but there'd just be complete radio silence. It was like they were communicating telepathically. It's very odd in that way. Like they're very averse to socializing and talking.
Yeah, I think it's the culture. I was watching a video on YouTube about that. But last thing, so yeah, I definitely probably want to go to the Philippines because they're very social, and I like to talk to people. I like to be social. But yeah, so I joined the server. Is it possible I can get access to like the whole server where I can chat with people in the chat? Or
Yeah, of course.
thank you, I
Yeah,
appreciate that.
I think you have full access, don't you?
No, I don't. I don't see any chat. It
Oh,
looks like it's locked. I
Yeah,
only
it's
see
fixed. It's
voice.
fixed now. Now it's fixed. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. But I'm a go. But maybe I will come back next stream and we can talk again. Hopefully.
yeah, sure. Yeah,
All
someone to
right.
ask about this stuff is Aibo. He's the most experienced of us. He already gave a bit of an introduction to what to expect, but he could tell you more details about how dating works in these countries.
Oh, welcome.
He's great for that. Yeah, sure. Yeah, someone to ask about this stuff is Aibo. He's the most experienced of us.
Hey, we can hear your YouTube.
Introduction to.
Hello.
Hey.
Oh, perfect. You were able to detect me talking about you.
Yeah, I'm listening while playing. So yeah. Yeah, it's true. Well, the Japanese, well, I don't know. I only hear that white guys can do well once they learn the language and fit in. Yeah. Now take a guess how a black samurai is gonna fit into Japanese culture, right? Take a guess. So I don't know. Although I heard that there is this they call it translated to English, they literally call it like sports fucking or exercise fucking or something like that. Sorry, exercise effing, yeah. But then again, you are not I assume you are not a Tyrone or a Chad, right? And then again, you wouldn't have you wouldn't have a real relationship there. So yeah. The Philippines, if you like it, good enough. But it's just, man, it's just a ghetto. I don't know. It's dirty. It's
The
seedy.
food's
Well,
really bad.
I
Yeah,
understand that,
yeah,
but
man.
like my options are limited, you know, from my
Yeah.
perspective. So it's like, okay, it's either this or nothing, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
We
Well,
have
yeah.
guys that have been successful in the Philippines, right? Like I think there was one guy
Hey,
that I don't
Brazzy.
know if he's in the server, but he ended up marrying like a Filipino Stacy.
Everyone is the easiest. Dating is the absolutely the easiest there. While I was there, like I had 3 dates, and in Asia, that's a good thing. I'm said this in the last stream. In Asia, you can have dates which last half a day. Yeah, of course, if the girl is like free on that day. Let's assume it's a Sunday, and you meet at 3 or at 5 after lunch. 3, 4, 5, 6 p.m. The dates can last until midnight. Yeah, and then two of the girls asked me if they can sleep over because their excuse was like, they don't want to go home and it's late and the traffic is so bad, and they also may be from the suburbs of Manila. Yeah, which getting there makes it even worse. So yeah, it's really
yeah,
that easy over there.
do you guys remember Lux LMS, his live streams and stuff? You guys watch him?
Yes, of
Oh yeah.
course.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I
Brazzy.
like, how do I? Huh?
You mean face and LMS?
Yeah, face and LMS. Yeah.
Yes.
So how I categorize myself, I would say I'm sub 5 because of my height. Like if like I'm that I feel like that just automatically makes me sub 5. But like my face isn't horrible. Like I'm not recessed. It's
Okay.
like it's just an average face, maybe like 5. It depends. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it depends if you like the African American phenotype. If you like the African American phenotype, perhaps I'm around 5.5 on the look
Are
scale.
you Are you are you are you light skin or dark skin or in between?
I'm in between. I'm brown
Okay.
because do you know what a Creole is?
Yes,
In
yes,
my
Caribbean.
ancestry, in my ancestry, I have Creole. I think Creole is like a mix of French and Black, right? Or mix
It
of
is.
French and Caribbean. Yeah,
Yes.
so I have
I'm related to. I'm actually related to. I found this out through Ancestry DNA. There's like random black people in Louisiana that I'm related to somehow, very distantly. It's maybe we're related.
Oh.
What happened?
Are we
I
losing?
think Mercer just shocked him by telling him that Mercer is black, so he left.
No, it's true. There's I must have because a bunch of Acadians is what they were called got deported to Louisiana because they wouldn't. I think it
Wait, what?
was they wouldn't swear allegiance to the King of England or something. So they got deported to Louisiana from Acadia, which is modern day Newfoundland, I believe.
Yeah,
Where?
if you,
Or
I was gonna.
Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
Brazzy should go to DR if he hasn't traveled outside the country before. It's easy.
Yeah.
I'd
Apple,
say for him DR.
yeah, Apple definitely go to Philippines and Thailand. That's the only Southeast Asia or Asian countries that make sense to be in, especially as a black guy. And then probably in one trip, and then also the second trip should be to DR and Brazil, I guess. How about
I'd say
Colombia
the
and South?
first trip should be DR.
Yeah, it's closer, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
makes
It's
sense.
2 hour. It's a 2 hour plane flight from Miami. It's not, and
I,
it's a major hub. So you just fly 2 hours to the DR. It's not that much more expensive than the U.S. I'd say the prices are double, but the
I,
flight is two. The flight is 2 hours, not 24 hours
yeah,
of travel.
I've been in the DR. It's kind of like it's reminded me a little of Manila. I could compare it to Philippines probably. Yeah.
I'd say it's less dirty.
Yes, it is.
The somehow the DR, it's got like they like care about U.S. tourism,
Yes, yes.
so they can't be they take care of stuff. And the beaches are perfect. They take
Yeah.
care of it.
Which should
And
tell you how crowded and dirty and rundown Manila is, right? Or Philippines
yeah,
in general.
I was in Santo Domingo, like their capital,
Me too.
and
Yeah.
then yeah, I started in Sosua, and then I changed my flight to go out of the other city. And it's like 2 hours across the island, and then it was much cleaner. Like the whole thing was cleaner.
Yeah. The city center was not that bad. I was in Punta Cana and then I went to the capital. Yeah, also 1 hour drive or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
but
only
this
issue I
is
would
like
worry about is
Hmm?
potentially getting scammed. Like, that would be my main concern.
And another thing
I didn't
about
see there being a lot
Philippines,
of scams.
a lot of Filipinos told me, even the locals told me in Manila to watch out, to take care of my pocket and to not get pickpocketed and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Because someday, all of, like, seriously, most of the Filipinos, either themselves or they had a relative or a friend who got his phone got pickpocketed, or his wallet, and so on. Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta go, guys.
Right.
Gotta work tomorrow.
See you later.
Good night.
See you guys. Good night.
Good night, Joe, and see you soon.
Yeah. Also, like, good night, Joe. Also, Apple, if you're still listening, or everybody else, go as young as possible. You should at best go in your 20s. Yeah, and you can still return. You'll still be young. You'll still be wanted in the job market. You still have a good chance to get a job because you're young, right? And if you are an English native speaker, man, you can go everywhere and be an English teacher. Yeah. Obviously, in the Philippines, probably would be less demand or no demand, but in any country who doesn't have a good English, where people don't speak good English, as an English native speaker, you easily get a job. For example, in Bangkok, in Thailand, you can do like $1,000 per month, which is enough. Yeah, you won't be saving much, but you will have a Western lifestyle. Yeah, and still probably have $100 left at the end of the month, or 200. In Vietnam, I heard they even pay you $1,500 a month, and Vietnam is even cheaper. So probably in Vietnam you would spend 700 and could keep a 700 every month, yeah, as savings. It's
As what, like an English teacher,
yeah,
something
as
like
an
that.
English teacher. And in Vietnam they even take non-native speakers. Yeah, I was in Vietnam. I dated some girls, and they told me they know 3 guys from Germany who work as English teachers. Imagine, yeah, in Vietnam, yeah. And Mehdi, a fellow friend of us, Max is looking into going to Vietnam as an English teacher because it's super easy. He got the offer. He told me, yeah, and he's also German. Yeah. Yeah, you get a nice 1 or 2 year visa. They do all the paperwork. Yeah, I mean, in Bangkok it would be €1,000, $1,000 per month. You wouldn't save much, probably $150 per month, but you could live a Western lifestyle, including your girlfriend. Yeah, and in Vietnam it's even better. But yeah, Vietnam is not Thailand. It's not a bad place, though.
Interesting. So this would be something that would be a great option for me then, given I'm a native
Yeah.
speaker.
Yep, it's even easier for native speakers. They sometimes ask for non-native speakers. They ask for a college degree, yeah, college university degree, you know, or
Yeah.
some kind of like experience in probably a teacher education or experience as a teacher, you know. Sometimes, not always, but definitely, if you are as a native speaker, you don't need a college degree or a education as a teacher, you know. Because you're a
Yeah.
native speaker, right? Makes sense. And in some countries like Vietnam, where they don't find, where it's not attractive enough for Westerners, not as attractive as Thailand, right? They even hire non-native speakers just to fill the ranks, you know. Yeah, makes sense. Manila, you wouldn't find a job as an English teacher. No need
Apparently, a
for
lot
that.
of Koreans go down there to learn English.
Yeah. Dom rep, probably you could find a job. Yeah. Not everyone in Dom rep speaks English. Yeah. English.
Most of them don't speak English. To be honest, the majority of the people don't. They speak Spanish, and
Yeah.
they have like internal Spanish tourism. Like they go, like people in DR will travel not to the U.S., but they'll travel to like all the Spanish speaking countries for like travel tourism. They don't go to the English speaking countries.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like internal tourism almost, even though they're going to other countries.
I tell you the truth, Philippines would be a dream come true. Yeah, it would be a dream for. It's so easy to date there, yeah, but then you have all of the other downsides. So, and then sooner or later, like I mean, okay, yeah, you get a super cute, super young girlfriend, whatever, yeah, and she's taking care of you and everything, but then once you go outside of your apartment, you'll be confronted with this stressful life, and I don't know if you could live there forever. What you, of course, could do if you are a digital nomad or whatever, can be mobile, right? Can hop around. You could find a girlfriend in the Philippines and then move around with her, right? No need to be in the Philippines. You'll be in the Philippines probably a month or two, yeah, and then like stay half a year in Thailand and then stay half a year in Vietnam and or longer or whatever. Yeah, I think you get the idea. Yeah, because I see some YouTubers who are married to Filipinas and have children, but decided to move out of the Philippines and are just staying in Vietnam or in Thailand and hopping around because the dude is able to work remote, for example, or just has a pension, yeah, or any passive income like renting out apartment or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
isn't there
my
a
thought
French
is
guy that's in our
you could.
circles who is says that his experience in the Philippines is really good. Now I don't know if there's some coping involved there, but I mean I remember hearing about
He's
that.
Like,
French, so honestly, France is like a third world, so it's not as big of a shock to go to Manila and see a
Point.
shithole. You
yeah,
know, so
How
if
do
you
you
go to
think of that?
France, if you go to Paris, it's a shithole. It's from I've heard. I've never been. I've been to
yeah.
Manila, and I feel like Manila is
Go to
less of
Manila
a
and be like, oh my
shithole than
god,
Paris.
Mary, this is so clean. Oh man, that is so
I mean,
funny.
no one's trying to kill you when you go to Manila. Like you can walk around Manila, you're fine. But
uh,
Paris, no, that's not what I've heard.
wait, are you French or have you visited Paris?
I just seen the videos of Paris, and I've
Oh yeah,
been to Manila. I stayed in
yeah, but
Manila for a couple of months,
mm,
and I I didn't feel like there's any problem in Manila. I could walk around even bad areas.
yeah,
You
yeah,
get
yeah, yeah,
pickpocketed. That's the main thing. They'll
yeah.
like have razor blades on them, and they'll cut your pocket open while you're on the on the train or something. And take your wallet. I didn't get stolen from in the Philippines, but that
Where have
people
in
do.
which area did you stay?
I stayed in Makati, Malate. Then I went to Angeles City, and I went to Barreto in Olongapo, and I
What
went to Cebu.
I stayed in Mandaluyong and Makati, yeah, and
Hmm.
the sad thing is when I walked like 10 minutes, yeah, it's just all it needs is a 10-minute walk and you come to a bad part of town, yeah, full with homeless people and drug addicts and whatever, right? And it's more dirty, more seedy, yeah. So BGC probably, if I would compare Bangkok, like the difference between Sukhumvit or this area like the center of Bangkok, yeah, where it's super clean and full of tourists, yeah, and the other parts of Bangkok, it's not that of a drastical difference while comparing BGC to BGC and probably Makati to any, or the good parts of Makati to anything else in Manila. Once you are getting out of or just get out of BGC and you'll it's 3 steps down, you know, while any random area in Bangkok is only a little dirtier and a little more packed with people and than the best areas, you know. That's what I don't like, basically, like, or how to say it in other words, every part of Manila has a ghetto, you know. Every part of town, every suburb of Manila has a ghetto, yeah. That's somehow very unusual. Except BGC, but BGC is also only a part of what is that part of Manila Cart again? I can't remember, but it's only a small part. And it's
I don't know.
shitty food. Yeah, it's the food is just it's not really good. Half of the food is just deep fried and tastes like nothing, and it's also like overpriced. Yeah.
Americans
Well, I
taught
mean,
them how to cook, I guess.
I could
Yeah.
probably open a restaurant and cook better than 99% of those restaurants.
I
You know,
agree.
I could just open a place and not do a shitty job, and I would be better at it.
Yeah,
There is
but
You know,
the thing is, it's the kind of money you could make, like because the
I'm not
income
saying I
is
would
so
open
low
it. I'm
there,
just,
like you know what I mean?
I'm not saying I would open a restaurant. I'm just saying their food is so bad that my basic cooking skills would be an
yeah.
improvement on them. 'Cause I
The
could just
thing is, and you're right, and the service is bad also. This YouTuber was explaining this in one of his videos. I don't know which one, Filipino Mercer, older guy, and he says like because the salaries are so low, yeah, and probably Mercer, you can draw a conclusion when I'm finished with countries like India and such, right? So the
Right.
salaries in Philippines are so low that their service is just terrible and no one cares. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking.
What do you mean?
I wonder if there's a niche that you could, because look, we can make some predictions about the future that there's going to be way more geomaxing of some kind or another as time goes on.
Yep.
And it may actually be a good idea to get in on the ground floor before this starts getting really big and like open up, for example, restaurants that cater specifically to expats that maybe would be a little more expensive than is typical in the Philippines, but the quality would be better. You know what I mean? So it kind of
Yes.
gives you a higher quality of life that would be a little more compatible with what you're used to in the West.
Then
You
the
know, that
question
might
is how
actually
you.
be legit.
Then the question would be how do you motivate your Filipino workers, yeah, to actually give good service. Yeah. So
You'd have to pay more,
Well,
right? So you'd have to, because if you have a higher income that you're willing to offer, you can be a lot more selective with people, right?
yeah, but then again, where do you cut corners to be still profitable and can compete with the other restaurants?
It's
I
true.
don't think
Like
business
that's the question,
having a
right? Like,
business like the Filipino cops and like you have to pay bribes to stay open. And
Yes,
as
yes,
soon as you
yes.
start making, yeah, as soon as you start making money, everyone shows up with their hand out, and you have to pay them to the point where you go out of business. That's why nothing ever succeeds in the country, because
Exactly.
the second you start, yeah, because I've had friends in the Philippines, like my fixer, he would get me my visa and renewed and stuff, and just the amount of money that he started asking for, like, would be like it got exponentially more expensive to deal with him. He always needed to borrow money. He always needed this. It was, you know what I mean? And
Yeah, and this
they
is
they they focus on you. They don't. It's not like Thailand where they just take a certain amount from every business and have a lot of businesses. As soon as you go in the Philippines, they focus on you and just try and eat you alive. You know, they don't.
yeah,
and the
yes.
Okay,
honorary Latino.
so would you say you are being sniped in Philippines? In meantime,
Well,
in Thailand, they actually really take good care of you, for good value. Correct?
Yeah, yeah. Thailand, they have, but see, in Thailand, no one can help you because of the immigration system. You can't just get a taxi driver who knows an immigration guy to just bribe someone to pay your fucking visa to extend. That's not supposed to be. But in Philippines, you can do that. You can go like my fixer like runs that cab stand over by Malate, by LA Cafe, and I would pay him, and he'd go to the immigration office. I never even went, and he'd renew my visa. But then he started wanting more and more money. He had to borrow money. You need this, and because they focus on one person, they just latch onto him and suck them dry. They don't have like this. Oh, I'll get 10 customers and just get small amount from each one to do this work. They just get one guy and they try and take everything from him.
Yeah, and then you are correct. But all overall, even in Thailand, you're gonna pay extra. Yeah, you're gonna have to bribe the cops, but they are more social. Yeah, so So I think in Philippines they take more advantage of you. But this is the general conclusion about SEA. Yeah, it's like I wouldn't do a business there. Seriously, it's just too much stress, and you have to pay extra for bribing and get the license and all of this. You know, I wouldn't
Yeah,
do it seriously.
the only people I know who have good businesses in the Philippines are in like niche businesses. Like one guy, he met a Filipino who owned a ton of houses, and he leased the houses from the guy, the Filipino who owned the house, because he can't own a house in the Philippines. He leased all the houses, like 10 of them, and then went on Airbnb and subleased them to foreigners who would come on vacation to rent a house, and so that's how he makes his money. So it's kind of a gray area. So he's not really working in the Philippines, but he is. So no one knows to come with their hand out to come take from them because there's no official business. You follow?
Oh, can I what? What about Jollibees? That's really a good what's the word? That's a very successful business in the Philippines, and
Yes.
they make a lot of money.
Yeah, but
Yeah, well, they're
that's
Filipinos.
Filipino business. Yeah.
Yeah, and also they're politically connected. I think the guy who runs it, his brother is a politician or something, or his family's in the
Hold up,
politics.
this is corporations, but he asked about starting business as a solo dude or a group of dudes or no, something like that. Because would you say that it's like a 50-50, like a hit or miss with starting business as a one man in Asia, and you have to really take care of your employees at the same time?
The first question is firstly like why would you start a business in a totally corrupt country? Yeah, and Thailand may be less corrupt and they may not snipe you or focus on you, but they still want their cut. So I don't see a reason to even start it.
Well, what if you just like if a Filipino person in the Philippines starts the business, won't they be more nicer because they're Filipinos? So maybe you could
No.
have a group. No, oh, it's the same for everyone, Filipinos and foreigners.
Yeah, they go unless they're politically connected, that they're not going to be able to run a business.
Oh, I see. I see. Okay, and I just want to say one last thing, because I have to go. But yeah, sorry I randomly disconnected. I had a call and I had to take it, so I had to go really
Alright.
quickly. Apologize for that. But yeah, I just one last quick thing I just wanted to say is, yeah, what I was saying is I have Creole, so I'm like kind of on the lighter side, but I'm not a light skin. I'm just like brown, like you know.
Right.
So
All right. How old are you?
I am I am
In your
I'm
30s?
24.
24. That's perfect. That's perfect. You should go over there as young as possible. That's the best advice I can give you.
Yeah,
Well, I'd suggest go to the Dominican Republic first. The Dominican Republic's closer, cheaper, easier.
No, but like I'm like
I might hurt him though in DR.
When I say this though, like I'm not exaggerating. Like I'm actually like a true cell. Like you know, like KHHIV. I think it like kissless, hugless. What's the something right? What's the term? I can't remember it right now.
KHIV.
KHIV. Is that how you say it?
HIV. No, it's KHHV.
Dude, just go to the Dominican Republic. It's easy.
Yeah.
It's a 2-hour plane flight from Miami.
Dominican Republic. I mean, I feel like that's too dangerous. I'd rather go to the Philippines.
It's not dangerous. I was there for like 6 weeks. There's no danger there. Just don't deal with anybody over there. Just go take a trip and stay at like one of the expat hotels for like a week or 2 weeks. You don't want to, if you're going to go get your feet wet internationally, why not do it somewhere close?
Yeah, but my thinking with that is like, wouldn't you need to go out into the society to like meet people and like, meet girls? Because if you're just in a hotel, that's where all the other tourists are, and it's more hypergamous there. It's harder to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the starting point. I mean, you jump off the deep end and learn how to swim that way. Just show up and, if you haven't left the country yet, learn how to do things slowly.
Yeah.
Getting on flights. getting your passport, the visa thing, and
Just go scout first. He's correct. Just go scout first. Yeah. And see
so if
Yeah,
what
you're
you
thinking
like.
about
I think ideally
the
though,
DR,
it's probably for me the Philippines because I like what he was saying. Like
All
it's
right.
not really it's not hypergamous there. You can just immediately go out, and it's like you have a chance, So it's like wow, like
Yeah,
that
but it's
sounds.
more again. It's more rundown, more dirty, more seedy. The food is bad. The food is overpriced and a little overpriced compared to Thailand and other neighbor countries. So you are overpaying and they are under delivering. The service is horrendous because their salaries are so low that's not even worth taking care of customers. Yeah, you have to ask them to they have to be noticed several times until someone comes over, and or you just go to the waiter and tell him what you want, and stuff like this happens there. So on the long, if you can live with that, yeah, Philippines for you is probably the best option. Yeah.
well,
Yeah,
I'd say
because
don't give
I
up
don't.
because look, what part of the U.S. you live on? East Coast or West Coast?
Bro, I live on the most hypergamous. I live in California, bro.
Oh
It's
my
like
God.
it's so bad here. There's like no hope.
Yep.
It's a sausage fest. Yeah.
Yeah. Total.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bro.
But
Like the girls here, they're like, oh, 6 feet and up, or they'd be like,
yeah.
they say 6 feet is the bare minimum, but they say 6'3" is the perfect, and then they want you to have like a chiseled, forward-grown jaw, forward-grown
Yep.
maxilla, a perfect masculine low gonio angle. It's like, come on, bro. Like they just want chads,
Yep.
you know?
Yep. I'm gonna
So
make an argument for Thailand now, because I've been around. I visited some countries, especially in Sia. I did not find a country like Thailand where is all of the parameters are in a good range. Like food is good and everything is like for what you pay and what you get. Yeah. Coupled with the low criminal rates over there, yeah, and the friendly people, yeah, and the chill and friendly people. They are very chill, the Thai people, while Filipinos are like, I don't know, they are more extroverted, more annoying, and it's overcrowded, especially the big cities. For what you pay and what you get, coupled with this feeling at ease, feeling this relaxed life, living in the now, yeah, and coupled with the low crime rates and affordable lifestyle
is
is yeah.
the crime rate a problem in the Philippines?
What is it? Say again.
Is crime a problem in the Philippines?
Not
give you an
really. As a
idea.
pickpocketing
I was,
is a problem. Yeah.
I
Okay,
was in the
yeah.
Philippines for maybe 2 weeks, and I saw a guy get kidnapped at gunpoint in Angeles City
No
in
way.
public, and people are videotaping it, and they just pulled guns on him. And his other friend ran down the street, and they just put him in the back of a car, and he disappeared.
Yeah, this may
There,
happen.
is that just like random, or is he involved in that lifestyle of crime, or is it just a random?
I don't know,
citizen?
but they could care less if people see them abducting someone to murder him. Like they just had guns to the back of his head, and they threw him in the back of a car. They stopped traffic to do it.
And probably as
Okay, well,
famous
I'm
or
gonna I'm planning mainly to stay in Manila, like just stay in that area generally, because you know. So hopefully, like this is my thought process. Like I don't mind because I'm not even used to or like heavily accustomed to like a affluent lifestyle anyway, right? So I'm willing to make the sacrifice of lifestyle for a better social life, a better dating life. Just have a just an all encompassing social life. Because if I go to Thailand, like yeah, my lifestyle goes up, but my social life,
yes, true.
what's the my social life, not opportunity. What's it called? Like it
What?
Social
potential.
circle.
My social life potential goes down. But if I go to Philippines, my social life potential goes up, but my lifestyle goes down.
Yes, that's
So
a
I'm
good
willing to
analogy. I like this analogy.
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
I would
so
agree.
I'm willing to focus I'm willing to focus everything on social life rather than just have it rather than sacrifice the social life for comfortability because comfortability like you can be in poverty and you can still be happy. It's like a state of mind. But like a social life, it's like different. Like you can't like I mean I guess you could be alone and be happy, but I feel like sometimes that's cope. Like you can't really like you know what I'm trying to say? Like you can be
Yeah.
in poverty but you're happy because you have friends around you. Friends is like it's your state of mind. Like the people you're around, that's what generates happiness,
Well,
not an affluent lifestyle.
I mean, if you like most Chads don't make a lot of money because they don't have to. They're happy with coming around and getting living with girlfriends and stuff. So it's true.
Yeah, see, exactly. Chad is usually not doesn't really usually have a lot of money because he never had to work really hard in life to get like it all
I
just
mean, the
kind of
only
came to him, you know?
yeah, because I knew this one Chad. He sold like he was like a wine vendor, and he made like 30 grand a year or something, and he barely even could keep his car running. And he had girls in and out of his shitty house. Like he had a shitty rental house. This is 10 years ago, and it's just a revolving door of hot chicks. And he had nothing, and he was happy.
Yeah,
And I would
see,
have been too if I was him. I would have traded what I was doing for what he had any day.
yeah, you know what I think it is because if you go back like 1,000 years, like everything goes back to like ancient times. So like in ancient times, like humans, they didn't have all these great technologies. They're just outside outdoors living with sticks and stones, but they're happy because of social life. The social life is what makes you happy, you know? Like think of dogs, right? Like a dog doesn't really care about like all these like affluent stuff. It's just about their social life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean,
Every
if
like key to
if
happiness is social life.
yeah, I agree with that.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my
So
god. Hold on. Funny you said that because Bubble today told me this story about how he know these two dog pillars who had some rare type of breed here in the West, and they decided to have like to breed the dogs, so the puppies, some kind of business, or I don't know. And guess what happened? Bubble, are you there? Maybe you follow? I don't know, he AFK. Anyway, the dogs. So, because of the fact that here in the West, the dogs are, owner inside the houses, guess what happened? The two owners met, they put the dogs together, like the beach basically went to heat, everything was ready, and the boy or the dude, the dog, he didn't know what to do. He was so confused because not enough exposure outside.
Oh my god.
Playing with other dogs, basically stuck inside some room, some luxury, villa, you see. So basically, you see, the dog didn't know what to do.
The male dog didn't know what to do, huh?
And everything was ready, orchestrated, organized, and he didn't know what to do. Sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Almost.
That's brutal. That's a dog pill you didn't expect to get.
yeah, I think social life is king when it comes to happiness. Because if you're rich and you're alone, you're like miserable, right?
Yes.
But if you're poor with people around you who actually care about you and you
Yes.
have a good social life, you're happy.
Not only that, you can count on people around you to do favors for you, and those favors are extremely important for your survival. If you are alone, you will starve.
And
Yeah.
you are also pre-vetted, and you get they try to hook you up. They try to hook you up with a girl, and they may even tell you about this girl. Like
In the Philippines?
I cannot speak about the Philippines. I only visited Leone family in Manila for a month. Yeah, before I was 1.5 months in Vietnam. But since I'm in Thailand now and I build up a little social circle, so for example, my friend and co-worker's uncle. Yeah, he married a typhoid. Yeah, who owns a restaurant. Yeah, it's a typhoid with money. Yeah, she has a SUV. She has a nice apartment. She has a restaurant. Yeah, a Thai restaurant. So, and then one tried to like connect me with like three of her friends or girls she know. Yeah, but two of them were too old for my likings, for my taste.
How,
Yeah, so
how old
but
were they?
well, one was like 41 and the other was 39. So I am
Wow.
44. I'm 44 now. I know that I can do better. I know that I can find one in her mid 30s or probably even early 30s. In the Philippines, I could find one who is end of their 20s, no problem. Yeah. You see much the age gap is much bigger. You see much bigger age gap couples in Philippines than in Thailand. Yeah. So and they even tell me or the guy, his uncle, my friend's uncle, or the chick, or actually he has it from his Thai wife, that like, oh, we could hook you up with that one, but that one, her English is bad, or the other one worked in Pattaya. Yeah, and you all know what that means, right? That she had a lot of foreigners. Yeah, and probably still has 2 or 3 idiots on the line. Yeah, or on the in the line, right? And stuff like that. So that's great. They even give me vital information about the chicks. So yeah, it's much better than a dating app. Yeah.
Dating apps in Thailand are basically just for pros to advertise. To be honest,
Yeah, it depends on the dating app, but between 1/3 to half of the profiles are pros. Yeah.
Correct.
Thai friendly. I feel like if you're in Pattaya, depending on the city, if you're actually in Pattaya and you go on Thai friendly, it's like 99% pros.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, but I have to go. But
All right.
I really appreciate you guys talking with me, and I enjoyed the conversation. And hopefully, I can come back again, or maybe during the next live stream, or maybe another time, and we could talk again.
Join the Discord. Most of us are there,
Okay.
especially during around this time.
Yeah, this Discord, right? This one.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. Sounds great. Awesome. All right, guys. Bye.
Bye. See ya.
See ya.
Yeah, social circles. We don't have any social circles in the West anymore. It's all eroded. Yeah.
They're not useful if you have a social circle.
Uh,
Because I had got set up with a girl one time, and she flaked. So what happened was I was playing PUBG, like that video game, up till real late in the morning, and so I actually missed the date, and I woke up and it was like 10:30. We're supposed to meet at like 10 or something
mm,
in the morning for coffee, and like at like 9:59, this girl had sent me a message like, "Oh, sorry, I can't make it," some miscellaneous excuse, and
yeah,
like
look,
I had
that's a Western social circle. You see,
yeah
we have a
U.S.
social circle, but it's still Western people. Yeah, what is left of it. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Or Western foids in this case. Yeah. It's all connected. It's all connected. It's all you can connect the dots. Yeah, again, I said it before. Yeah, the number of young couples between 15 and 25 in Bangkok or anywhere else in Thailand, most of them height and looks match. Compare it to your city. Yeah, just it's observable reality. Yeah. It's one of the reasons. Yeah. Makes you look like it makes Westerners looks antisocial, and so are the Japanese. Mercer, you talked about how the Japanese are. They have a pretty. It's the Japan and Korea is the West, but with Asian people. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Japan and Korea have very different problems, but there are definitely some similarities. Korea, I think, is much. What I think happened because Japan, in some odd ways, is a lot more traditional in their gender relations than South Korea. And I think that's because Japan was modernized in the 19th century and into the 20th century, and then like remodernized after World War II along 1950s, 1960s American lines. Whereas in South Korea, it was modernized and developed more along like 1960s, 1970s, 1980s United States cultural lines. And so you see sort of a much more culturally modernized Asian country in South Korea, which of course is a bad thing because it's more westernized, really, fundamentally.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And you can see it with the birth rates. Like Japan, their birth rates aren't great, but they're sort of, you know, they haven't collapsed, right? They're hovering around like 1.3 babies per woman, whereas South Korea is just in free fall, you know. And same with Taiwan, free fall.
Yeah, I was on a ship when we stopped in Naha, Japan. That's in Okinawa, and I only got like maybe 6 hours there. I went to some soapy massages there, and then I was at Starbucks at Opa Mall, and like the for sure like the Starbucks girl was like trying to hit on me, one of them,
Oh, not bad.
and she was
bad.
pretty.
Nice.
Like the Japanese girls really like white Western guys.
Yeah,
It's-
yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Yeah.
But you were
I coulda pulled
you
that.
were in Okinawa, right? You were not in is Okinawa a big city?
No, it's like a tiny island that
Oh,
is
there you
far.
go.
It's on the. It's a very far away. It's where the base is for the U.S. Navy, and they're getting kicked out because of all the like crimes they're committing, like the bad rape crimes, and so the U.S. military is getting paid to go to Australia because they're not welcome there anymore.
Western idiotic
They're not allowed to
behavior.
leave the base.
Western
What?
asocial behavior. I'm not kidding. I'm complaining about this in the previous streams. It's like Westerners, they go to many of us, of course not all of us, but at least I guess half of the people living in Sukhumvit, Bangkok are just fucking assholes and idiots and druggies, and you know, you go to a place like Thailand where you can just adapt, you know, and have a happy, carefree, healthy life, yeah, and can afford a high life of quality for less money and everything. Can find a girlfriend, can even have a family, can all of this, right? And like many of these Farangs, they just go there, they just take drugs daily, different drugs, from like snorting the stuff to smoking blunts, whatever. They have several girlfriends at the same time, yeah. They go drink every night, you know. It's just like they continue their Western lifestyle, but since it's much cheaper in Bangkok, Thailand, they just overdo it, you know. So they are like constantly either drunk or high or chasing the pee, right? And it's like it's unbelievable. Why do you stress yourself like this? Yeah.
Yeah, having two girlfriends seems like a good idea, but the drugs and the alcohol is bad. I don't drink or smoke or use anything. I'm completely sober.
Well,
I just got away from all of it.
yeah, managing two girlfriends would be possible, but it's still more stressful than managing one. And I just gave you a list of things that will put you in a stressful state, you know? Yeah.
I think a good way to do it is if like you have a girlfriend in the Philippines and one in Thailand.
Do that.
You know what I'm saying? If you want to do two, I would do two and one in each country. That because you can't stay in Thailand forever. You have to travel somewhere.
Well, you can.
with your
You
visa.
can. There are some options. There's the DTV visa now. If you're older than 50, you get the retirement visa. You could find a job as an English teacher, especially as a native speaker, right? So those three options give you 1 or 2 years visa without border runs. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question for shall we say not more stereotypical geomaxing, but let's say you are somebody who's looking for like a trad cath girl, let's say. Is this something you could actually find in the Philippines, or is it more of a meme?
I think so.
Like, do you actually find genuinely like religious chicks there? Like,
Yeah,
I know
there
guys.
are.
I know guys that are like religion copers that this might actually be useful for them.
You mean
Yeah, you can do it.
Buddhist girls?
No, I'm thinking more like Catholic chicks in the Philippines or
No
something.
idea, bro. Bible, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, you
Go-
the way
go
to
for
do it would be to. I went to church with a Filipino, but he wasn't Catholic. He was one of those non. It was like one of the other ones, a non-denominational, a new Christian one.
Or one of those sort of
But
weird Protestant sects that have popped up recently.
yeah, it's something. It was something. But I met him because he worked. He went to a school with me for training for like refrigeration for the ships because like the containers are refrigerated. And so he was Filipino and he flew in to do that. And I got to know him. And then I visited him in the Philippines. And he brought me to his church. It was pretty big. There were hot chicks there that went there. And so if I had, gone to the church a bunch of times and I lived there, like you get a church girl for sure. You
Yeah,
know,
I would. Yes, that's my
Yeah.
experience. I first I geomaxed to Dubai. Yeah, I stayed in Dubai during this sea virus, during this madness, the 3 years of the sea virus madness. Yeah, I stayed in Dubai and a lot of Filipino guest workers there. Yeah, and so I had one Filipino girlfriend, but uh, it was not working out with her because, and then I dated the other girl, but then I left for Thailand. So, and basically like I would say from my experience is like yeah, get those conservative Christian Catholic church going girls. Yeah, those are the introverted ones. But there are also Filipino girls that are just like they are obscene, they
Yeah.
are so extroverted and annoying and I don't know if yeah, it's just annoying. And probably you shouldn't sleep with a girl on the first night even if she asks you, yeah? Because the churchgoer, the conservative one, the family girl, the one who is introverted will not ask you certainly. You will have to have like at least 5 days or something with her, yeah?
That makes sense.
And in my experience, I'm sorry to say it's a limited experience, but there's for me only two types of Filipino girl. The annoying extroverted one who doesn't go to church, and the churchgoer who is introverted. Yeah?
That makes sense. And you'd mentioned Vietnam in general is like that,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Like
And
guys
yeah,
that are guys that are trying to wife max.
yeah, and Vietnam girls, well, from a dating perspective, it's horrible because like you have to date them for so many times, yeah? And they
Yeah.
want you to assure them that you will stay in that country. So in Vietnam, it's like the girls will not go even if you are chat. They will not sleep with you like after 2 3 dates. Yeah, especially not if you are leaving the country. They want to be extra sure to go into a serious relationship with you. Yeah, and so are those Filipino introverted church going girls. Yeah, they are all about family. Yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah.
So this would be a good
Well,
section to do, like specifically like a wife maxing versus
yeah.
a more casual maxing, like
or
compare and
maxing.
contrast. Yeah.
Look, I'm not saying that if one of these girls, yeah, sleeps with you on the first or on the second date, or especially in the first date, it may work out. Yeah, I'm not saying. I know a couple. I know a friend of mine. He married a girl where he slept with her after the first date. Yeah, but it was also a long date. Like they spent the whole day together. Okay, yeah. They are married now. They have kids now. Yeah, okay, I get it. But we are talking about the odds, right? So if she
Yeah.
offers you, or if you sleep with her on the first night, she may also sleep with other guys on the first night, and she may also have several guys like on the line or in the line or managing several guys, and especially Thai women are notorious for this. Some of them, yeah. And then again, there's another thing: the higher the education of your girlfriend or wife is, yeah, the better the job she has, the more likely she will not be a total, yeah, you know what I mean, yeah.
3 or 4.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You may go there and you may feel like a super chat because she sleeps with you after the first date. Yeah, and as I said, you can have those half a day or longest date I has was in Malaysia with the Chinese Malay girl, and that one went like 8 or 9 hours. Yeah, and I was really like thinking to myself, well, should I take her to my room or should I try on the second date? But then I had to fly back. Yeah. So, anyways, and yeah,
Yeah.
but madly we find recently we found out, right, from our common friend, yeah, that yeah, this thing can go wrong. Thai women are, I think, they are very, like, how to say, cold or logical by running several men, right?
Yeah.
At the same time managing several men. I can understand from a woman's perspective, yeah, that like she cannot be sure, right? Especially with us, yeah. You may be a tourist only coming over for 1 month per year. That's your vacation. You take all of your vacation, you move over, right? And
Yeah.
you may be just a guy who will in the end not marry
Okay,
her or not commit.
okay, to clear the air, I don't know who said it a couple days ago in VC. Well, maybe Gold said it, I think. Like first couple of weeks feel good because the girl is love bombing you, yeah. Basically have chat struggle on you. But then after some time, all these family emergencies start to accumulating, or yeah, all the girl will tell you she have debt or something like that. Then yeah, too much influence, either sister or mother. What else? What kind of horror stories are on the table? I mean, not horror per
Well,
se, but
the sick water buffalo
if
story again,
if you
right?
go to West, you can have that bullshit. But listen, no buffalo, because it's a difference if you are dating a girl that attached to her family very much, or you are dating some office market girl in Bangkok. It's difference.
Yeah, yeah.
You said
And
that
then
kind
again,
of
like,
no, also, yeah.
then again, if you're only there for, this is my opinions after 2 years of experience in Thailand and in Southeast Asia. If you're only there for like 3 or 4 weeks, yeah, a year or 1 or 2 months a year, possibly it's better to don't even date, or to don't even date seriously, yeah, because you have let's say you start a relationship with that girl, she's gonna hope for you to either move there, or she's gonna hope for you to take her to the West, yeah. She's gonna hope for some long-term relationship like marriage, kids, you moving there, you taking her to the West, anything of these 1 or 2 or 3 of these points I just said. And then like after, she will be lonely, she will be sitting there for like weeks and months on her own while you go back to the West to do your Weichi, yeah. And then we all know how people are, and Foyts are also just human, yeah. She will get bored and she will look for better options because probably she can find a guy who will commit, right? So this relationship will dissolve, explode sooner or later. If it's 1 or 2 years, or give it, probably even she may hang in there for 3 years until she finds a better option, you see? Because you are not the option when you go to Geomax for a month or two. And this should be logical. I shouldn't need to explain this. Yeah. So you should aim for being in Southeast Asia as long as possible. I would say at least half a year, if not longer. Yeah. Now how to do this, that's another topic. Yeah.
Yeah.
You cannot, I'm trying to say, just like in the West, you cannot have a long-term relationship. You cannot have a serious long-distance relationship for longer than a year or two. It's not gonna work. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like when people get too close to me because, then you have a girlfriend and you feel bad when you break up with her because now she's stuck with nobody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough call. And then there's also the issue with having to play games with flagpoling to renew your passport. And, like it is definitely. It's not like a super easy, relaxed way of doing things. It is a little bit of a hassle.
Yes. Not only you have to leave your country and leave your family or your friend circle, yeah, and
Okay, but for males that have nothing to leave behind in the West, it is perfect. They're perfect candidates. That's what I keep saying.
I agree. We have to geomax. It's not the Voids don't have to geomax. We have to.
Well, they can't geomax.
I think I could just bring one back to Canada and then see if she can last 6 months before she demands to go back.
Yeah. This also happens. It's not only that some of these chicks really they get sick and tired and just want to go back to their country. Yeah, this is also. It's not all of them gonna stay in the West and then like leech off you, yeah, or divorce you and shit like that. Yeah, it's like some of them go back. Yeah, they just don't want the Western. They realize that it's they are missing their life in Thailand or wherever. Yeah.
Yeah, the quality of life right now is not great, and there's the thing is there's no in Canada in the cities there's no public culture anymore. Like there's no people going places and doing things just because it's all Indians everywhere, Indian students, and they're 80% male. And so, like, if you're Canadian, you're in a really great situation for geomaxing because, like, you could bring a chick back here and she would immediately demand to go back as soon as she has to deal with 6 months of that, you know?
Yeah. Let's see where we are in 20 years, in 10, 20, 30 years. Let's see if the East goes up and we slide even further down. We'll see.
Well, we're going to become something else by that point, you know? Like, I don't even know if we would be a recognizable... Because, like, is Canada still Canada when it's majority Indian? You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a little more speculative, but...
Well, that's one way to so the West can compete with BRICS or with SCO, yeah, by importing a lot of foreigners and therefore lowering the salaries.
Yeah, well, they're elite human capital is what we call them now.
Guess why it's called a market? That's why it's called the labor market, because there's supply and demand. There you go.
Yeah, we got to compete with China, which is 90% Han Chinese. Somehow we're going to compete with them by importing.
They should have this stuff. What's happening now? Actually, well, as I said, the huge immigration is one possibility, right? Probably it's the one that is like works the most efficient in the shortest amount of time. Yeah. This should have been done 20 or 30 years ago when all of the problems started, because that's when the shit really started. They just delayed it. Yeah. Remember the housing crisis in the US, right?
Oh, yeah.
Remember the banking crisis, all of this, right? So it was the first signs of a failing system or economic system, and it's basically they should have done this 20 years ago, and we would have been gone through this probably. Yeah.
Mass immigration was the answer.
It's one solution to
That's a retarded solution.
It is one to get compatible, because at the moment you have no chance. There is you can Google it. The SCO is the Shanghai Commerce Organization. Yeah, it's basically Russia, all of the Stan countries, China, and most of Asia and Southeast Asia, except of course the American allies, which is Australia, Philippines, Japan, South Korea, and probably 1-2 more. Yeah. So basically,
and Vietnam as well, because Vietnam is
Vietnam.
a huge
That's very interesting. Vietnam is now actually aligning with the U.S. just like India. So imagine they are communists like the Chinese, but they don't get along, and they need protection from someone who can take up China. So they tend to align themselves to partner with the Americans. That's very interesting. Yeah. So anyway,
I mean, most of the Most of the immigrants just end up on welfare and don't contribute anything. You know, it's
Yeah,
been
I
a
agree,
disaster.
but generation by generation, you have a chance to integrate those people, but therefore you would need to have some jobs available, which you don't. So all of this is kind of like, yeah, I would agree on that.
Well, the answer
Yeah.
is just to tariff the countries that have the slave labor, so you don't buy things from them. You know, that's the answer.
Yeah, but tariffs, Mercer, tell him about the tariffs. The tariffs is also this. The tariffs also lead to you paying additional taxes, and the companies gonna raise the prices, and in the end, you're gonna pay for it. Mercer, you can
Yeah, but we don't
explain
really
it
need to
better.
buy that much stuff anyway. I mean, how much stuff do I need to buy?
Yeah, but you have to remember we're running in a system that requires perpetual
Yep.
GDP growth, right?
And they say
And
every national economy is like 50% consumption and 50% production, and we are failing on both parts at the moment. Yeah.
yeah, see, the thing is, this could be accomplished or resolved if we were willing to look at alternative systems than
Yes.
investment dominated economies that require. It's not that these investors are evil people. It's that they just by necessity, in order to justify the risk of putting their money in the market, they need to have a return on investment. They need to have perpetual growth. And because of that, where do you find that growth? Well, population growth is one of the ways you do it. And you have to remember, and this is the thing, you were talking about these immigrants being on welfare and stuff. You don't need to have the immigrants necessarily be productive, right? Like they don't really care if the overall economy is productive, as long as these immigrants are consuming and they're spending into the economy, they can just take that money from elsewhere, whether it's impoverishing the overall, like impoverishing the wages of the country through inflation by printing currency, or it's through taxing and redistributing the wealth elsewhere. Like they're fine with doing it that way, as long as they can achieve growth in their sectors of the economy. Like Walmart loves
Yeah,
this shit because Walmart will constantly grow as long as there's people that need groceries. You know, the rental industries love the population growth, even if they're not contributing anything economically, because they'll get their rents subsidized by the government, and the guys that own the properties and are extracting rent, they're going to make money on it. You know, like you
Yep.
have to realize none of these people. This is one of these annoying things I've found, is that people are like, well, rationally, this is going to be bad for the economy, so why would the private business people be interested in that? It's like they don't give a shit about the overall economy. Like, they don't care if you do
well,
worse. In fact, it would be
that's the
better.
reason.
They would be better
That's the
off.
reason why you have a government.
More
Like the
desperate.
federal government's supposed to keep these business people in check with like standards.
Sadly,
Yeah.
sadly, your so-called federation in America, yeah, it's all fucking Freemasons, yeah. Your feds, your politicians, and
It always
your
was. It
businessmen,
always was
yeah.
from the very beginning.
So I get it. You can say the America and probably Switzerland is the only country on this planet which can be considered a federation or a republic. I would agree, because you saw this during the different C virus laws, yeah. Compare Florida to New York, yeah. And Switzerland is also very independent, each and different state, yeah. So, but still,
I
it's
really
not a
don't think
republic.
there's that real. I don't think there's any Freemasons really running anything in the U.S. I think that's long over.
You're totally wrong about that.
I think it's APAC and the Zionists and the
That's another.
merchants.
Well,
I
they're
would
conflicting
agree.
factions.
They're the ones who
Like
are doing all the
the
problems.
globalist
Well,
faction
it's
is
not.
actually
It's
in
never.
conflict with Zionist now.
It's
Like,
never
this is
one
why
faction
we're
alone.
able to talk about the who's on social media so openly. Like, don't you
There
guys
is-
find this kind of strange that we're able
Yeah.
to talk about them now? Like the way
There's
that,
many
unlike
factions.
anything that we were able to before.
There's many factions. Look, and somehow it's very interesting that during the 3 years of the T-virus shit show, yeah, somehow they could all align, yeah, all over the planet. That's a very interesting situation, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just curious. Like, the way I see it, because I think people are getting the impression that the good guys are winning because now we can talk about them. But what I think is happening instead just seeing a conflict emerge where they're allowing the plebs to air their grievances towards that group because they want to get rid of the Israel is like this enormous blot on the current system because it shouldn't exist. It should never have come into existence because the whole model that they're operating on became essentially a crime after World War II in the Nuremberg trials. Like running a settler colonial society is considered it was worthy of pariah status after World War II. You couldn't take land by war, and you couldn't occupy land and take it from previous occupants. Like that became a war crime. So Israel's existence was a war crime, effectively, and it's been a blot ever since. And if you like, imagine if that country never came into existence, the group that we are discussing right now, that is the international faction, would be more powerful than it would. They would be completely unstoppable because nobody could notice them. Because they could be
the one group starting with a Z, right?
Yeah. Well, no, not the Z's. I'm talking the J's in general.
The one with the
Like,
J, okay.
yeah, just all of them. All of them. I mean, because they could be consistently left wing and pro multiculturalism, pro mass immigration, anti nationalism. They could be all of that completely consistently without having the hypocrisy of supporting Israel being so nakedly obvious, because that's why we all notice them now. Is because of Israel. If Israel never existed, none of us would notice them.
I would say the Z faction plays a big role in this because they own basically the banks, or the big bankers like the Z's. Yeah, they came up with this building this state, establishing this state, and they sponsored all of it. And when you think about the central banking system, with the World Bank on the top, right, with the International Monetary Fund, you should know why they made a state, so they can,
Well,
make
the
profit.
thing is that there were multiple interest groups here, right?
Yeah.
Because I was if I was one of these international, who's, and I saw total victory that we won over the Germans in World War II, and that we basically at that point half the world was given over to the communists. So it was America's whatever the hell it is supposed to be. On the other side, so there's no exist. Israel be in complete control, like forever, essentially, because we know to identify us. We could, like, the victim narrative that they've spent decades would be impervious, because Israel's existence and their hypocrisy towards Israel broken the spell they've had over everyone, right? If that spell if Israel didn't exist, the only people that would be talking about them would be the kind of people that were, the William Luther Pierce types, right? Like you.
Okay, your mic is
Huge
roboting, man.
Left wing, idealistic,
Your
human
mic
rights
is
concerned left
roboting.
wingers that are all noticing it. Oh, yo, can you hear me?
Your mic
You
is
were a robot,
roboting.
Oh, okay. I was saying, we now have like a huge faction of the left wing that is all noticing them, right? Whereas in the past, it was just certain parts of the right wing, And we're talking idealistic, human rights concerned leftists that are not worried about losing, like they're willing to sacrifice for whatever they believe the greater good is. Like this is a disaster for them, Yeah, they're on to me. They figured me out.
Probably it was about time, this war over there in this area. Probably that's why they installed Joe and Bibi. Yeah.
I mean, I could see them trying to. I think they really are sick of Israel painting a bright red target on all of their backs, because that's what Israel does effectively.
Certainly, if you look at it, that they brought Bibi back, right, in that country over there, and Joe B, was established. There's two old guys, the old guard, basically, the last coup of the old guard. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Though the thing is, I think the billionaire class is entirely globalist. Like they believe in the destroying all borders, allowing a complete migration of labor and capital, free movement of people. They want to turn the entire world into like a single country,
Yes.
effectively.
Yes.
That's their goal, right? The Z's are an unusual faction in that they're so ethnocentric that even though they're billionaires and they should be identifying with the billionaire class who are just they don't even think about their own nationality or ethnicity or background, like they don't care about that crap. They don't need any of that. They're billionaires. But the J's that are billionaires, the Z's are so ethnocentric just by their nature that they're willing to pump billions of their own dollars into supporting their project. Whereas if we had anything comparable in terms of ethnocentrism among whites, we would have white billionaires that would be doing the same for us, right? Like we would have like our own version of South Africa somewhere that they would be pumping billions into, but we don't because even though the Jays are overrepresented in per capita terms in terms of billionaires, they're not. It's not like all the billionaires are Jays. The majority of billionaires are white, non-Jays.
Well, and then what would happen? You would have something like South Africa, and they would just cut South Africa loose. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, Israel was actually absolutely essential in backing South Africa and keeping them going up until the 90s. And they would have continued to support South Africa's existence had the Afrikaners actually kept it up and not given up the way they did, because it was the whites that gave up in South Africa. They voted for ending apartheid, right? If they had not done that, they would probably still exist today.
But even like the West, right, establishing a communist like Mandela, yeah, and not calling him a communist, yeah, in the Western media and picturing him as a freedom fighter, yeah. While if you look at his history, and everyone knows, even on Wikipedia, you can see that he was backed around South Africa, all but I think Botswana or who, they were all communist-led dictatorships, yeah, backed by Russia, obviously, and this is where he had connections to, yeah. And the West displayed this guy as a freedom fighter and as a democrat and a freedom-loving guy, yeah. So now you should know something about geopolitics. How is it possible, right, that at the same time you blame the Chinese and the Russians and depict them as your worst enemies through media and all of this, but at the same time you support a communist, yeah, to take the leadership in South Africa and burn it to the ground, yeah. There was a plan.
The reason why is because I think the Americans realized at the end of World War II, after Germany was beaten by them and occupied, I think they realized what a mistake they made, because at that point then, the Soviet Union then stood occupying half of Europe and being the one other major superpower. China was occupied under the communists, the entirety of China. Like the Eurasian landmass was united under communists. And Europe was so decimated by the war that immediately the colonies, colonial empires collapsed, and there were Marxist revolutions raging all over the former colonies. Like the Americans, I think at least the ones that were aware of what was going on and were not blinded by ideology or like blinded by war hatred, realized what a disaster they had put themselves into, because they were on the losing side of that of the narrative, you could say, the cultural narrative of the Cold War. They started out on the losing side because they were forced to support what were known as right-wing pariah states, and this would be Israel, South Africa, Taiwan, and South Korea. They were forced to support those because their alternatives were all communists. Like the Soviet Union was able to position itself as supporting the third world in its quest for freedom against the imperialist powers, like the typical Marxist narrative. Like they had basically given the Soviet Union this golden ticket to global influence, you know. And the entire Cold War was the Americans trying to stop the spread of communism, despite enabling it in the first place. You know, like Patton was right. They should have continued to march right onto Moscow. They probably should have dropped nukes on China.
I
Like
agree.
they should have gone total war before the nuke was detonated by Stalin, because under the communists it was over. Once the communists were reorganized and reestablished, the right wing had basically been destroyed in the entire world, throughout the world.
So, I like to go. I have to sleep. I have to. But I'd like to conclude before I go, because this was the thing I said before I left the last live stream. Yeah. It's all ideologies. Yeah, Mercer, as you said it. They came up with a new left, right, to counteract the old left communism, basically Eastern style communism. They came up with a new left, which is the Frankfurt School of it, to counteract it. Yeah, this new left, the Frankfurt School ideology, is rampant now in the West. Yeah, and we all know what it led to. All of these movements of the last years or the last few years or centuries. Yeah, is total shit show. Yeah. So you shouldn't follow any ideology because it's man-made and it's only there to influence you. Yeah, just like media and religion and all of these mechanisms. Yeah, you I would say we all have preferences. Yeah, but if you fully follow any ideology, I mean, sorry, you are just, I don't know, you are not a free thinker. Yeah, you will be pushed in one direction. You will be influenced and manipulated. I mean, I'm often saying it, regarding the new right or the alt right. Look at the people you have there, which are presented to you as your spokesperson. Yeah, speaking in your interest, but they are not. From Jordan Peterson to Ben Shapiro and so on. I mean, it's unbelievable. In my opinion, okay, I'm not gonna judge you. We all have self-interest, yeah, and tendencies, yeah. Okay, yeah, but if you associate too much with any, it doesn't matter to me nowadays. If it's from the far left to the far right, you are just being yeah, you're being manipulated. Yeah, you're be giving a direction. You're living a man-made belief system, and all of these. What is the goal in the end, or the major goal of propaganda, or all of these systems? Yeah, is just to make you act against your own self-interest. Yeah. So you'll be giving a man-made system, a man-made belief system in this specific case of an ideology, because there's also man-made monetary systems and man-made other systems. Yeah. In this case, it's a belief system, and well, that's just my conclusion. Yeah. All right, I'm leaving.
Yeah,
Good night. Yeah.
Good night.
good. Yeah, I actually have to get going as well, because I got to go pick up some stuff at the store. If the stream is still going, I should be back in an hour. But if not, I will talk to you guys later.
Later.
For joining, Mercer. I think we're gonna wrap it up in 10 minutes.
Yeah, I'm gonna head out too.
Yep. And thanks for joining, Gold. Good talk.
Thank you.
Not sure if Bubble is in the house, but yeah. Snuggle the like button, boys, and probably tomorrow, possible another talk show or something. Worst case scenario, we're gonna turn it into another Gulag stream. Yeah, check the Discord for the memes, I guess, and subscribe to Mercer. Thanks everybody for tuning in. It was a short live stream. Just for the background cells to have some kino, I guess. So we are sending 23 people to the streets. Actually very late here in Gulag, so I'm not taking any more guests tonight, yeah. Yeah, stay tuned and see you very soon. Okay, so signing out. Peace.